monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my hands without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're all up till dawn, but how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my hands without an alibi. Interstellar night space, no one else sees. In the underground, we're living low key. Can give you peace here in your mind. And as I found no place in the dead of night to come alive. Life is waiting on the other side. Follow me into the underground. Watch the world changing as the sun goes down. Follow me into the underground. Follow me into the underground. Follow me into the diamonds in the sky, shades of pearl and green. in the ocean with you, baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding me up. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming round and don't run forward. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Mm.
They said, don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Going to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found, and you can't start again. easily get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Going to the place where all this began. To start again. Won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Hold on, hold on. It's not lost, you're not lost. Hold on, hold on. It's not lost, you're not just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it out.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. La 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 la, oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Oh, no. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? Let you go.
Get up, get up. We want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Pick your body till you black out. So get the fuck up. Cause we gon' light up this place. We got the business for days. Tokyo GA from the outer space. So cover and dock, you're out of luck. We don't give up. Yeah, we're going up. Next floor is us. You're riding with us. Get up, get up. We want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Pick your body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first match of the Streamline Minor League Tournament. This will be a tournament played under Pro League rules. Today, we're going to be kicking off with our first match in Division A. It'll be Sangfroid against Team Heat. Currently, we will list our Division A group. Keep going up on the screen. Our Division A group is kicking off today with our match against Sangfroid and Team Heat. Our match against QWE and Mischief was postponed. The winner of this game will then go on to play the team winner in CS, Team Mawa against Astro. All right.
Okay, so right now we have so Division B that we'll be playing later tonight. The first match will be between Tilt Esports and War Pandas. Do tune into that. It should be starting at GMT plus 10 p.m. tonight. Okay, so shortly we will be moving to the map ban system as mentioned by my friend here, Pond. By the way, we forgot to do our introductions. My name is, our mistake there. My name is Forge Master. Happy to be casting all of you. And this my colleague here is Pond. So hello there, Pond. So good to be casting alongside you.
Going to be casting as well. So today we're going to be moving on to our map ban system. We will be playing with the same map. We'll be playing with the same map pool that's in Pro League, that being Clubhouse, Coastline, Consulate, Cafe Dostoyevsky, Theme Park, Oregon, and Villa. I'm very excited to be getting into our matches today. I'm very excited to see how the C region plays. A lot of these matches, we've been moving a little bit more towards a defender-sided utility dump meta in a lot of the other regions, especially North America. I'm very excited to see today how our teams are going to be taking the matches. So we'll be moving right on over to the map ban phase right about now.
Yeah. So, Pond, so what could be your predictions for the first game of the first season of Streamline Minor League?
So I'm not thinking that we'll be playing today on Oregon. I know you and I talked about this yesterday. It's a new map in the map pool. A lot of teams, at least being played in Pro League. A lot of teams seems to be one of the more defender-sided matches. a lot of teams have been struggling to attack the basement attack sites. All right, our first ban in today is Villa. Villa does play a lot into that defender. I know I'll say this a lot.
Okay, so
The more
Team Heat
defender
seems to
sided
have
meta.
Mhm. Team Heat seems to have banned theme park. I can understand that considering how defender sided the throne room can be. So let's see what they pull out next. Yeah.
Theme park doesn't surprise me as a ban. A lot of teams really do struggle playing on theme park. It's a very odd map to attack. Our next ban comes in is Consulate.
Oh, so that's interesting. I actually expected Consulate or Clubhouse to be the map we played here, considering that you can bypass Consulate without hard breach except for the basement side. So that would probably have favored some of the more aggressive plays that you would typically see in APAC.
Yeah, and Consulate is played with a lot more of an aggressive play style. Oregon ban. You're right on the money.
Yep, predictions correct. So now it's been Cafe and Clubhouse. Yep, Clubhouse it is. So I'm guessing this might go either a typical rank style where you would see Clubhouse still being slightly attacker sided, or the full-fledged pro league style where they would possibly ban Thatcher and the side becomes defender sided. And I can see Sankfroid starting a defense.
All right, we're currently bringing the teams in the lobby, and we will be starting up our first round on Clubhouse. Our first set to be
Yeah. Better off, better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, we're toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off, and we can. Better off, better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If I'm knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off, and we can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All aligned. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a robber's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going wrong like monsters. Playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a robber's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi. Oh, smoking gun. You got me on the run. We know that will come. We're all up till dawn. But how can I hide you without an alibi?
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Apologies for just some technical difficulties. We'll be getting right into our match right away. Our first match of the day is going to be on Clubhouse. We'll be starting with we'll be starting with a pick and ban phase where each team will be able to pick one attacker, one defender that they will be able to ban. We'll move on to the actual match. For some of our new viewers out there, we'll be playing on Pro League settings, which means point systems will be off, and there will be there will be a ban and reveal phase. So on Clubhouse, Forge, do you want to talk a little bit about some common bans on Clubhouse, ways people typically will take that?
Yeah, so thanks for that part. So as you can see now, these guys have started out by banning Capitao. So Capitao and Thatcher now. So these are the typical bans you would see in almost any map. Specifically Clubhouse as well, since both Capitao and Thatcher are pretty influential operators. Thatcher said to be the solution to the 20-second meta, but because of how influential his EMPs are, he is generally what is a preferred ban. And Capitao, his smokes and fires that he can provide all to a 10-meter distance that more or less hit scan projectiles. So you would say that he is definitely an important operator. Now the defense bans, Pond.
I cannot see the stream right now. But to talk a little bit about the Capitao ban, the Capitao ban will help a lot when taking CCTV, especially if the teams will be playing a bandit. It'll help prevent the bandit tricking from going on there. It could also be used in conjunction with a Zofia in order to have some more crowd control.
Okay, so well, these guys went ahead with an Echo and Mira ban, and unfortunately, we are having players missing. So we might be looking at this a
Attackers
little
need to
more delay
locate and
in
defuse
happening.
bombs.
Hopefully, these guys can join in the during the prep phase, but I'm guessing we're looking at another rehost here.
Yeah, we are looking at a potential rehost, but just to talk a little bit about, even with a rehost, we'll be going to the same attacker bans. We'll be looking at an Echo and Mirror ban, and the Echo ban is not very surprising. Echo is a very oppressive operator. He's able to gain intel for his team, deny plants. His weapon comes equipped with an ACOG, so if a team wanted to extend out onto the catwalk or hold any longer angles, they're able to do so. And the mirror ban, I actually find a little bit surprising. Typically mirror isn't banned on Clubhouse. Typically you'd see if you have a Thatcher ban, typically you'd see either a bandit ban or you'd see a Kaid ban. I know Kaid is banned a lot, especially when trying to defend Armory Church.
Yeah, so but I'm guessing the thought process here was that Mira is pretty influential, having two mirrors basically locks down an entire site with just one manpower. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe the whoever Sangfroid was, I'm assuming Sangfroid was defending, so they're looking at a quick and easy 6-round win. Hopefully, it's not always going to work out, but at least at least they can ensure that a significant amount of influence can be put on both the cache sites and the bedroom sites with the
Yes.
presence of a Mira. They're trying to eliminate their presence, my mistake, by taking out the Mira. And Echo, well, unfortunately, that bulletproof yokai bug is still in play. So that could be one of the influencing factors, but we also know that regardless, Echo is a pretty strong influence on the round.
Absolutely, he does bring a lot of utility to his team, and also when defending the Armory Lockers bomb site, Echo does have impact grenades. So if the teams did want to potentially impact trick, it would make that process a lot easier. So they would be able to bring Echo for his utility along with bringing him for the impact.
We'll be joining you guys real soon. There's a quick rehost that has to be done. So stay with us and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, we're toe to toe. We're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off, and we can. Better off, better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off, and we can. And we can. And we can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All aligned. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a robber's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going wrong like nonsense. Playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a robber's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi. Oh, smoking gun. You got me on the run. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We'll be getting into our game. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. So we'll be starting out our first match today on Clubhouse. We'll be playing on Pro League rules. Our first team on defense is Sang Freud Esports, and our first team on attack is Team Heat. So, Ford, do you want to talk a little bit about the bomb site that we'll be going to first?
So, all right, thanks, Mark. So we're looking at Church and Arsenal being defended here to start with. Typical start, generally you see people starting out either on Church Arsenal or Cash and CCTV. So Sangfroid having gone for Church Arsenal, you can see the Kaid being brought over here. So I'm guessing there's a hard, rather obvious that you're going to see a hard hatch defense over here. And I can see that there's a Valk and a Jaeger. So either you're going to have a Valk holding for extra intel to deny plants, or a Valk going for an
Attackers need to
offside move
locate
with
and
the Jaeger.
defuse bombs.
Yeah, and it looks like the attack will be bringing a Maverick, and the Maverick can be used to get the hatches. Theoretically, you should be able to get 2 hatches. It is an incredibly difficult task.
Yeah, the last time we saw that was just Merc from NA, so we'll have to see how Apac's up-and-coming talent can match up to NA's best.
Yeah, so it looks like they'll be doing a... Based on the setup right now, it looks like they're going to be going for more of a turtle hold downstairs. There doesn't seem to be any utility being extended upstairs, minus a few Val cams. They've gotten Moto hatch, blue hatch, and kitchen hatch.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
And this really is a very typical. This is a very typical setup for more turtle strategy. A lot of teams typically won't do an extended hold. Looks like Jaeger will be roaming upstairs. I'm assuming
Standard
probably
impact rate I
around-
can see over here. At least an attempt at an impact hit from the Maestro. So I'm interested in seeing where Maestro plans on putting his evil eyes, because if my math is on point, attack seems to be carrying about 2 frags and 2 impacts, 4 frags, I mistake, and 2 impacts. That's a lot of impacts to counter not an overwhelming amount of utility that defense has brought here. So there are, like you said, a typical hold and not too much of utility that is being invested into any of the sites.
Yeah, it looks like apart from Jaeger's upstairs presence, which I believe Jaeger already rotated back down into sight. Jaeger seems to be doing a typical blue hold, and Maestro seems to have the holes there. And for people who don't know, if you blow open the holes right below kitchen hatch, you can actually throw an impact grenade up and get the Habana pellets before they hit it. And that allows Kaid to extend his utility out towards the Moto hatch and the blue hatch. And it looks like Maverick right now is starting on the Moto hatch. It looks like they're going to be trying to do a church take.
I think it's worked out. So Sledge started out his vertical play. I'm assuming Maverick was able to get the hatch, motor hatch open with this trade. And Sledge has proceeded down after opening a set of holes. So he's putting pressure from the stairs here on the long hallway.
Attackers located a bomb.
Yeah, and it looks like
Yeah, go on.
it looks like the attackers are trying to do a take, trying to get control of Moto and trying to get control of main stairs. You see Habana trying to open up into church. Our first pick comes from the Maverick onto shot FX.
Oh, that's good. We've already started some action over here. You don't have to wait the entire 2-minute 40 for some action. And we're already down to 1v4, and the round's already over. Team Heat takes the first attack on Clubhouse, opening up their account with 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that was really a beautiful take from the attack. They were able to get control of Moto and get control of main stairs. Habana was able to open up into church, which was able to get the cross angle from Moto and from main stairs. Because there was really no top floor presence from the defending team, there wasn't any late round flanks. And I believe Zofia pushed in from blue, if I saw that correctly.
So I guess Jaeger got pinched while he was attempting a solo hold over there. And
Okay.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah,
as
it was
many
really
bombs as
a
they
really
can.
beautiful execute from the attackers. And I was very surprised they didn't even go for kitchen hatch. They just opened up Moto, worked right into church. They had Habana down, got the church walls out from main stairs, and they were really able to pick apart the turtle defense. They were really able to pick apart the turtle defense.
Imagine it took both the Maverick and the Kite players over here by surprise. It was Zepanda and Psycho, I
10
assume.
seconds left
So
before insertion.
they were expecting a serious push from either Blue or
5 seconds remaining.
Kitchen, but this push was from the stairs, Blue and Moto, which that I guess then
Moving out to locate
the
a bomb.
dining, I'm assuming, was correct me call out over there. It was probably less invested in utility to counter a full 4-man push on that side.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be going to a very similar setup. It seems that the Jaeger will be staying a little bit more towards blue stairs. Sophia is joining out garage now. And it's very interesting. The attackers aren't doing a top down roam clear. They really do have a very horizontal clear of the site.
Oh, an
See,
attempt at an
this-
early pick, but I'm assuming that didn't work. That just opens up a line of sight. He's basically Sledge saving up one of his hammer shots.
Yeah, that would have been a good pick too. Sledge is droning down main stairs again, and it looks like the attackers are setting up for a very similar take. We have Maverick rotating in to get Moto Hatch right now. Ooh, that is a big pick.
Oh, so they've already lost control over their evil eye, so that's a significant amount of intel already limited. And we've already seen Sophia pick up some of the intel towards Oil Pit. So Jaeger's probably alone over here.
A bomb has been
And that will
located.
lose its first blue hallways control.
That's a tough pick as well. So we have Maverick that just dropped into Moto. He's trying to get control of Church right now. He sees the defender. Aww. And it looks like he's collapsing. Wow.
All of the back in 1v4 again. 1v2 made that. And I guess they're having a tight angle. Oh, the Valk is able to hold this off. Where we have the one of Chaser going in for a plant.
Attackers
Plant
are
is probably going to come down here.
Valk is intervening, and I believe right now it's Maestro cams. And currently Sledge is the only one that can get rid of them. Diffuser is down. So they'll be going to a post-plant situation. I'm assuming they'll be rotating upstairs. No. He'll be holding right from the breach. So we have one holding from Moto Hatch and one holding from the
Defenders have
breach out by main stairs.
Attackers need to protect it.
Oh,
That was a good attempt from the Valk, but I guess the 1v2 did overwhelm her. And that's Team Heat taking one more round.
yeah, and the attackers really did push that almost the exact same way they had done before. They had Zofia jump right into garage, go right into oil, and get the quick pick in blue onto the Jaeger. They had Sledge open up some lines of sight on the top of main stairs and get some lines of sight in the kitchen. They didn't even attempt to the kitchen hatch. They went right to the Moto Hatch, and they had Maverick drop a grenade in and get two really quick picks. And the Maestro.
Yeah, go on.
The Maestro pick in the beginning was really, really detrimental to the defense because Maestro and Smoke are two of the plant denial operators that they have, and so a potential plant in Church could have been denied
need to
with
locate
such.
and
But Valkyrie
defuse
did a
bomb.
very good job to attempt to retake the site. However, the retake position the attackers were in, they were able to set up the cross angles, they were set up the quick peaks, and it really did put Valkyrie at a disadvantage.
Especially one attack really did barely any vertical push over there. Even Sledge's hold to mainly superficial pressure, which still seemed to work in making them rotate back to Church a little bit. So after that, the major push seemed to be coming in from both the central stairs and Oil Pit. As you mentioned again, barely any push from kitchen and into Oil Pit. So
10 seconds to
I guess they
insertion.
should be looking at a more coordinated 3-2-man split that
5 seconds left.
Team Heat is looking at. Sanford should probably look at trying to
Attackers objective
invest more
is to locate
utility
a
in
bomb
two
and
directions that the Team Heat is typically going to push for. So now we're
Yeah.
looking at cache and CCTV here, and a similar loadout as before. Rather, there seems to be different differentiation. The Maestro by Zipanda is now running Wamai, and Psycho, previously on the Valk, I assume, is now on Bandit.
Yeah, and they're really doing a very typical hold. They're going to be holding down. Catwalk and Garage very heavily, and being able to hold down the Catwalk really does allow you to contest
located
both
by
the
attack.
breach and any push from construction. Maverick's currently going after the CCTV wall. Ooh, that's a cheeky hole.
And Green seems to have lost a fair bit of health. I'm not sure if it's the Bandit wall that he grazed or the smoke canisters, but clearly something's worked in Sanford's favor over here. Going for the Maverick trick has put him at some risk here.
Yeah, I believe that was the smoke that took out a majority of that health. It was very smart move by Piper.
And we see the metal wall has been reinforced so that at least one major access point has been opened up for Team Heat.
Yeah, and you can see that Z Panda really does have a good angle on the Maverick trying to do the repel Maverick trick onto the CCTV wall, and that really does show the importance of having catwalk control, especially when you're trying to go for the CCTV wall.
First utility investments coming here. Now, something we need to have point out a similarity here. We got 6 nades from Jaeger and 5 from Panda, and we have 2 shields, I'm assuming. Oh, and the first pick comes. I guess that has to cut my analysis off here. So Jaeger putting in his room.
A really good pick.
So that's a fair bit. That's 2 frags already taken out of the equation.
2 frags and their hard breacher. I'm not quite sure if they had gotten the CCTV wall yet or not. Believe we're opening that now. Cypher's contesting the site from construction. Ooh, he has a really good line of sight on this smoke.
Drop the bomb.
Even in his dying breath, the smoke is trying to make something work over here. In fact, he's already taken out the Hibana as well. 2 hard breaches as 2 flank protection, and finally spots.
That is a lot of utility off the board as well. Or he only had 1 smoke canister left. Cypher comes right in on the site. He's attacking from that construction side. We got 12 seconds left. The attackers have to make something happen.
Oh,
the C4 from below. Wow.
Explosive into the round here. So Kaid making use of his C4 utility here, rather than waiting for a plant to go off, he just ended the round right here.
Yeah, that was a beautiful use of utility from the defenders. The attackers had gone a little bit, they'd gone a little bit more towards a more horizontal clear rather than a vertical clear. They weren't able to clear out the roamers on the first floor, and especially when you leave utility like AC4 open for the Kaid, those last second pushes just they're very difficult to hold off, especially with the intel coming from the Valk cams. They didn't have a Valkyrie last time. That was my bad.
I guess this is one of the ideal
Attackers
times
need
to
to
bring the
locate and
combination of
defuse
say
bombs.
Yana and Zofia and have a double roam clear to happen. So I guess that would have helped maybe to either push the Kaid back to site or at least put some pressure on that room, which would have helped towards the late round scenario.
Yeah, and the defenders really did kick off that round when they had taken out Scrapper at the Maverick, because that for one eliminates the frag grenade. That eliminates the frag grenades. 2, that eliminates a lot of the potential they have for a roam clear on first floor, and
10 seconds to go.
additionally, that's part of their hard breach. It'll make getting the CCTV wall
5 seconds
a lot
left
harder to
before
get,
insertion.
and I don't believe he fully Maverick tricked the wall. So I really got to give it to Snake that last round for delaying that Maverick trick onto the wall, because that really did enable their team to win, because it wasn't until the last 30 seconds of the wall that they were actually able to make something happen. So we're going back to a basement defense this time, and
Maverick's shots almost missing the one down the back.
And it looks like Valkyrie was doing an upstairs hold, which is really smart because took the words right out of my mouth.
Though if
But
you're
at the
reading
same
that well
time,
properly.
That's the Maverick on. And I don't believe he got any of the hatches.
Oh. So that's going to really impact their push here. It's going to delay it because now attack is at the mercy of just how the central stairs are and the blue hallways head.
And if you move over to that hatch on Moto, it looks like it was just a quick peek. Wow, he was only able. Wow.
Attackers have located a bomb.
That was a
Barely
quick
able to cut that.
peek from Shot FX, and I believe Shot is playing at main door, where he was rotating around that area. Or no, he's playing on site. That is a really
an attempt at the hatch, which
It's a
didn't
really
work out.
good pick from the defense.
So, but attack seems to have already pushed down central stairs and already putting pressure on the hallway, but it is a little harder because none of the hatches are open. Okay, I guess now a hatch is going to open since Cypher of the Sledge has gotten the teleport.
I was gonna mention right before he had gotten that, the attackers really were at a disadvantage if they wanted to go for a very similar push. I mean, getting the hatch and Moto really enabled them to prevent anybody from rotating from Moto into church or from rotating from Moto to contest main stairs.
There seems to be an unusually low utility presence happening on the main hallway, main long hallway. At least one trap along that should have helped in slowing down the push, but that clearly was pushing. And we've already seen 2 picks coming out here. So at least now the blue is under control of the Zofia. Partially, we still have Smoke investing his utility there to prevent Zofia from.
Yeah, Smoke really does seem to be trying to delay that push as much as possible
15
from
seconds to
Magician,
go.
not allowing him to collapse in on Church.
10 seconds remaining.
But we already have the plant having
Defenders have
successfully
eyes
gone
on the
down
diffuser. Attackers need to
on
protect it.
Church. There was a quick Church take. Even though they weren't able to get the hatches open, they still were able to improvise and for the Church take.
Cypher trying to make this work. It is a one-on-one. He was able to get the Smoke as he had rotated in. All he needs to do is hold an angle right now. He's got the SMG-11.
So the Alta definitely a clutch weapon over here, and I think he does it, but oh, he's already run out of time. He's got less than 7 seconds. He's got less than 7 seconds now. The round seems to be interesting for Cypher. Sledge celebrating with the hammer swing onto the Evil Eye. That's Team Heat taking one more round. Interesting fact coming in from our analyst team here. The Magician has got the opening kill in, I'm assuming, 3 out of the 4 rounds, that is it? So Magician's clearly popping out over here. 7 kills of 3 deaths. So
yeah, he seems to be getting the opening pick, and a lot of those picks do seem to be coming on the Jaeger, the first round holding blue, and the Magician really has been crucial in that basement attack. He really does open up a lot for the attackers by clearing out blue. He cleared out the Valkyrie roaming upstairs, which was really good for the attack because the attack wasn't going for a top-down approach. The Valk was able to hide and, as Foxay had mentioned, have more of a snake or a rat strategy and rotated and flanked last minute. He really could have taken out a lot of the defenders pushing down main stairs. It was a really, really good pick from the Magician there. But I do have to give it to the defense. They were able to, especially with losing Valk early, they were able to get the pick onto the Maverick and really did make the lives of the attack a little bit more difficult there. Allowing the Sledge just to move right down main stairs and get the electric on the hatch was a little bit
5 seconds left before
a little bit detrimental to the overall defense, but they were able to make it work. It was just I'm not quite sure what had happened. What had happened with the Maestro, why he had gone directly to the plant. I think he thought that he had the Sledge down, but right now, moving on to a new round, it's going to be a gym bedroom hold. It seems that the defenders have an extended hold over into CC. They're going to be investing a lot of utility. They're going to be investing a lot of utility in preventing the push up from red stairs and from the CCTV garage side.
correct. So that's I think now it could be more of attack would want to shuffle up that push a little bit, but so we already have a garage being taken control of here with DZ coming in as a nomad and already trying to push the construction side. Construction is soon to be pushed, I'm assuming, but Jaeger seems to be holding off the east stairs and the entrance from garage.
Yeah.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
It's an interesting take on the extended hold into CC cache. Typically, you'd have somebody holding in the garage, but it already looks like they were able to get the wall. They were able to get the wall onto CCTV. And the opening pick finally coming from the Jaeger That was on to Chaser, and it was a quick trade-off. DZ was able to quickly trade that off.
And Cypher gets his first kill, and that's a grenade kill here onto, I'm assuming that's the castle over there. So castle's probably already invested his utility, so that's much less of a significant pick, because if you look at what attack has lost, that's the divide. That's the fair bit of entry fragging potential that's lost here. And we still have Bandit. Oh, I am confused at what the Nomad was attempting to achieve with that.
So the Nomad had originally droned in and completely missed the bandit.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Completely missed the bandit that was sitting right there. And for the second pick onto Cypher, that is a big pick. Cypher's been making a pretty big impact, and he is quickly traded off by the Maverick.
So we have the round count evened out.
Attackers have
thanks
recovered
to
their
the
diffuser.
Attacker and defender count evened out. So now it's all up to pushing through construction and into bedroom. There's 30 seconds left. Wamai seems to be holding off logistics all on his own. Zipanda's Wamai.
Yeah, the Wamai seems to be holding off in Germany. That's the room. That's the way I call that room. He seems to be holding off into there very well, and he
Bomb
seems to be
located by
delaying.
attackers.
It looks like the
15
plant's
seconds
going
left.
off into master bedroom.
That's a risky
10
plant
seconds
here.
left. Attackers have
And is
dropped
that
the
going to
bomb
work out?
diffuser.
No. Oh, that's
the
a
team
huge
5
kill.
seconds remaining. Attackers recovered
All
the
he's
bomb
gotta do
small
is
price
sit back.
paid for a major danger. Oh,
Operators,
just
you're
close
out of
there, but the
time.
defenders
Ooh.
hold this off, and I think we are one round away from evening the round count. So that's the win for Sancfroid on defense. Yes, that is Sancfroid on defense.
Yeah, we are coming right. This is going to be our last round until halftime, where the attackers defenders will switch, and that was that was a crazy finish to say the least. They'd come right up for the plant. Wamai had pushed in forward to try and deny that plant, and right after he had gotten it, Kaid had used his utility and gotten his own teammate. That's happened to me quite a few times in my time playing. Really, really tough for the Magician. He was stuck in a very tough position trying to push forward in the last few seconds of the round, and Kaid made
Defenders, protect your
the
bombs
right
from being
choice of
defused
sitting
by
back and
attackers.
just allowing the time to run out.
Yeah, easier to riskier, but I have to say easier to let the round pass by on time rather than to engage in those offers. The Zofia clearly does have a better gun than the Tiger.
Yeah, and the Magician has gotten 2 or 3 of the opening kills, and really has made a huge impact on the game so far. 7 kills, 3 deaths. Same with Cypher. Cypher and the Magician seem to be making a pretty big impact for the team, but I really do want to talk about the 2 picks that Bandit had really allowed for their team to be an equalizer. So they're going to be going to a cash CC defense again.
The bomb.
It seems like they're doing a very similar setup. It doesn't look like they're going to reinforce the wall from Armory, or the wall from outside balcony into construction. They will have Wamai playing on catwalk again, and they will be doing a very, very similar hold.
So an up-and-coming trend that we're seeing here, we saw in the last round, and it seems to be increasing trend in both APAC and in EU, is the usage of a suppressor. Of course, the unconventional take here from Psycho is using a red dot and a suppressor, the taboo red dot and a suppressor. So there is, of course, a supposed myth. We're not sure if it's a myth or not, but essentially a lot of people are noticing that suppressors are reducing the recoil a little bit. And while we're at this chat, Scrappers lost about 30% of his health at the thanks to one of Hypotushi's smokes. Again, he's under impact. Is he going to die? Oh, he is!
Oh, really well played from the smoke right there. It looks like Smoke wasn't the one who got it. It looks like Wamai had peeked through the Maverick hole and gotten the pick off. Very, very good play from the Smoke right there.
Well-timed utility investment here, and Psycho, the suppressed red dot bandit player, is doing it again. Oh, he's changed his loadout now. He's gone for a holographic right now, so he's shuffling up, I guess, trying to play some mind games here. I'm not sure of his thought process, but clearly it's working. And he's gotten the kill on Cypher, another influential player, both the sledge, so that's also a set of frags lost over here. So the advantage at the halfway mark is clearly on the defensive side.
Yeah, very, very well played by the defense. Able to stop the Maverick from getting that wall, and that seems to be, if I hear correctly, that's the last smoke canister going out. So a potential plant deny from smoke. Plant deny from smoke is no longer possible, but the utility was invested to get the pick off on the scrapper.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Attackers playing below, but we're coming up on 48 seconds of the round, and they currently have 2 attackers invested into holding construction over here. And the first pick coming from the attack is onto the Wamai.
I guess the Wamai was more or less out of his madness by then. Ooh!
Attackers
And he
have dropped the
pushes
bomb
in,
diffuser.
and Hibana gets immediately refragged. Oh, no, he does get team kicked, unfortunately, by the Nomad. So it's all onto the Nomad of DZ and Zofing's Magician. Overhead Jaeger sneakily pushing up the
15
garage
seconds
back.
left.
They got the C. They got the C4 from below. They have the
10
right
seconds to
info. He knows where the plant is going down.
5 seconds
Oh,
left.
he can't get that from below.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Oh, but he does get the
Attackers
shot
need to
onto
protect the
Nomad, and
diffuser.
now that's a
Position
1v1.
compromised.
Is it going to be in favor? Oh, my mistake, the diffuser's already planted, so it's a post-plant retake that's over here.
It's a post-plant retake from the Kaid. And Stoneheart really has been doing as much as he can for his team right now. It's going to be really tough with the TCSG against.
He gives away his position now.
Yeah.
Zofia is expecting him right around the corner. We're going to see an easy pick here. He's got 12 seconds. He goes for the diffuser. Oh, and he gets the fourth fan clutch. Well played by the Magician, as always, attempting opening picks in the other round and an end pick right here. Maintaining the lead at halfway mark 4-2 in favor of the Team Heat.
Yeah, and that was a really good attack. I gotta say, I'm a little bit confused of what had happened with the defense. They seemed to have allowed the Nomad to push in and got 2 very quick picks off of them. The attack was up 5-3, and were able to really equalize that round out. The attack was really able to equalize that out very quickly, and I really do gotta give a lot of respect to DZ for that take there.
Exactly. So despite being down on 2 at the start with your Maverick, that was the way they equalized it and eventually pushed it to a post plant was definitely very good. That was very well coordinated, and in fact there was also a team kill by the Nomads. So they were down by 3 disadvantages, and yet they were able to pull it
Attackers
off.
need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Yeah,
as
Defense
that was-
definitely has to pull up, and now they're on attack. So I guess a couple of things they could have learned about the team from the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, and so if we take a look at the operator lineup, we'll be seeing a very similar lineup. The only difference being they'll be running a buck instead of running the Nomad. Curious of how they're going to be covering rotates and flanks, but we currently don't really know how Team Heat will be taking this. It looks like they are going to be going for a cash CC hold, investing a decent bit of utility into holding down the garage. The Magician,
5 seconds
who
remaining.
had run Sophia for the past for all of the attacking rounds, seems to be
Attackers
running
must
the Jaeger
locate
on
and defuse the
defense.
bomb.
Right, so rather unconventional bringing Buck. I mean, I'm taking nothing away from Buck. He's still a remarkable operator. Despite losing his frags, 3 flashes still contributes to some utility here in terms of the ADS. And if ever Zapanda intends to do a roam clear, the flashes will still be
Attackers have
useful.
located a bomb.
But it's still a rather questionable pick, considering you do have 4 sets of frags already and 6 frags if you consider the Zophia's impacts as well. So definitely the Nomad would have been a better pick, but I would want to wait and see what kind of a strat they intend to pull with a Buck opposed to any other operator. Maybe a high vertical play presence because of the CCTV push, and both the sides seem to be soft building.
Yeah, so we got Maverick starting on the wall over here, trying to open up CCTV. Habana's really trying to get the wall into garage in order to get the angle onto the catwalk. And it seems that they've opened up the wall in CC already, or only a minute 10 into the round, and that makes the life of the Wamai up here that much harder. And it seems that the Magician and the Wamai are both playing in garage, with the Jaeger playing in oil. It's a very interesting hold. It's not one that I've seen before, but he is able to stop the push if they do want to push upstairs. The attackers did get this garage wall already, and they are peeking up to the Wamai on catwalk.
So Burma is definitely under pressure now. I guess this is the flash is coming out from Buck, so definitely a fair bit of pressure being put on Garage. Which
Yeah, it
does
seems
bring
like-
up the question. I'm guessing construction is now lightly held because of the most of the presence seems to be on this side of the map.
That's a very interesting choice. Oh, his feet are clear, and he's able to escape that. The Buck seems to be attempting to try and get control of catwalk up here. Wow, the Magician.
That was an odd attempt at running up on the catwalk, but it's clearly 3 easy picks
Ooh.
for.
Chase with the piece.
But amidst this, we did lose the Magician. So at least with that pick, yeah. Well, no, the Garage is still under the control of defense.
Yeah, Chaser really does have that held down. And
Bomb
they do
located
have
by
the
attacker.
CC wall, but they haven't made an attempt to push from it until now. The Chaser with the quad kill. Can he get the ace?
15 seconds
Seems that
remaining.
shot will be pushing in. And that is
Okay,
the
he does get the A.
Chaser.
Remarkable play there, holding off primarily a solo hold onto the Garage and giving Heat another round, and that puts them up at 5-2.
Yeah, and I told you I said the importance of holding that catwalk is you're able to kind of prevent a lot of the cross angles from the attack, and really the team that gets control of that catwalk really does take control of the round, especially when pushing CCTV. But absolutely magnificent job from the Wamai there, and I got to give some credit to the Magician. Even though he had died early, he did get the down, and he did push the attacker's attention away from Wamai, and Wamai was able to get the pick really quick off and was able to not only trade out his teammate but finish the down that he had already started. Very, very good job from Chase that round. And the attackers seemed to have fallen apart a little bit towards the end there. They looked like they were trying to invest a lot in taking out that garage, and the Wamai was really able to stop that push. And they weren't able to fully take over the CCTV wall until they were able to clear out the guy on catwalk, which they weren't able to. And that was I have to give a lot of credit to that one for that round. And I also got to give a lot of credit to the Maverick. The Maverick was able to get that wall out in the first minute of the round.
10 seconds to go.
That was a very quick take in comparison to
5
Team
seconds.
Heat's attack. It was definitely a quicker opening of the wall, but they did lose a lot of presence
Attackers
in
are moving
attack.
out to locate a bomb and defuse
This
it.
is one of those times where I do think, despite the meta requiring a lot of frags, smokes would be a lot more beneficial. At least you could have covered one line of sight from the small window watching into Garage. That would have, or maybe covered the oil pit so that blocks off the Jaegers and maybe the Kaid's line of sight, if I remember correctly. So they would have had two people having to deal only with one Wamai would have made Attack's job a little easier.
Yeah. And so right now we're moving on to a basement hold. It looks. I'm trying to see right now. It looks like the Maverick had made a few holes looking into dirt. It seems like there's a little bit of utility invested into holding down dirt, but it looks like the attack is going to be going for a kitchen push. You see the
Bomb located by attackers.
three Maverick holes put in right there.
And we're finally seeing a roam clear. Team Heat, when they were in attack, they did not do a roam clear on this top tier, which Buck is taking the responsibility of right now. And Buck and the Sledge. So we have this typical angle looking into the rotation of the sides of this Sledge. And a pulse being got the first time. Are you going to see a kill over here?
Just narrowly misses. I don't know if you're taking any health off the defenders up there.
No, but Hyper seems to have lost some health somewhere along the line. But there's a bit of utility investment coming here. The Zofia seems to have put in all into the church side, Arsenal side, to mistake.
Yeah, and he knows the position of Scrapper right now, so now Scrapper has to Scrapper has to move around and try and figure out how am I going to stop this push coming from the kitchen hatch. And it looks like at the same time, Maverick's about to get the hatch in church. The attack really is coming together. They have kitchen hatch.
Bomb has been located.
They have church hatch. They have rooms cleared. I don't see any flanks coming up. It looks like it'll be a total defense.
So I guess they pushed all of their defense back into sight. And the first pick comes out from the smoke of DZ onto the Buck. So Buck was attempting a roam clear as close to the site and now has lost his life to the smoke. And the smoke though has lost 2 of his hands. And
Yeah,
Scrapper
that will
gets
be-
his kill as well.
It looks like Maverick dropped on Moto Hatch and is trying to get main control. Oh, he wasn't able to get the smoke canister off.
That
They're
was
able to get
perfectly
their hands
Bomb
timed.
diffuser.
Plant does go down and now it is in a 2v1 post plant in favor of attack. So Jaeger has to plan his push properly because now he has to handle one push from kitchen and one push that is at the half wall, I would say, in the arsenal
Yeah.
site next to the diffuser.
And it looks like the magician will be coming up now to try and retake in a post plant. And if he's a magician, he's gonna have to show some magic because this is going to be a very, very hard retake. He has the intel.
What
He has
was
the
it?
intel on
Oh, unfortunately, the magic
had
ran
the
out.
He had the intel on the Habana holding down there, but wow, that was a good flick from the Habana.
So that's a quick
Those-
retake, especially getting that smoke off just at the nick of time before the gas canister went off really did turn the tide. Because if that smoke had gone off, plant would have been delayed by at least around 4 seconds, and that would have played into defense's favor very well.
Yeah, the pick on to smoke really did enable the attack to take that round. But I do have to give a lot of credit to the attack. They were able to do a top-down roam clear, and they were able to get both the Moto hatch and blue hatch, and they allowed for the Maverick to hop in and for the attack to take control of Armory. They were able to get the plant down. They were able to get the quick pick onto the smoke. It was a very, very well done job by the attack.
Attackers
And
need to locate and defuse bombs.
very interesting.
Point to be noted here, which we did not mention earlier, Chaser was not on the original 5. Initially there was somebody by the name Eagle, if I remember correctly, and Chaser was the replacement that joined in last minute. Clearly that's working out for Team.
Yeah, he was the sub that they had brought in last minute for their team, and he's really been making it work. I mean, he was able to get the pick off as Maestro the last round. He was quickly traded off by the Habana, but still, he's
10 seconds to
really
insertion.
made an impact for himself this game. So it looks like they're going to be
5 seconds
going for a
remaining.
basement hold again, and it looks like they're going for the SSG hold.
Attackers'
Oh,
objective
this
is to
is-
locate a bomb
This
and
is an
defuse
interesting
it.
thing to watch because they're pulling out the SSG hold with a bit of their own flair. No anti-gadget utility, which is the typical SG hold, but they bring an alibi instead of the Mozzie. There's no Mozzie there because of the lack of the super shorty, I'm assuming, but that has put attack directly in their
The
face.
magician is able to stop Z Panda there, and that's his fourth
Locate a bomb.
his first kill. DZ able to rotate down. Ooh. It's a tough angle for DZ to push, but Shot FX lands his shot, and that's really some of the majesty that is that SSG hold. They're able to rotate down from red stairs, and it looks like
It looks like Vigil or Cypher is still dancing on the bar counter. Nope, he's been taken out.
Nope.
So that's a roam clear there.
Segway
And
over
now
on
the-
Cypher. And now it's
Okay.
falling all up on the Magician. The Magician left in a 2v1 situation, both attackers pushing from blue, and that seems to be the area where the Magician's holding off. He's got low HP, but he also does have the intel from his goo mines coming from that hallway, from the stairs.
I'm confused. Attack really needs to consider pushing elsewhere now. Because they have all of the utility at their disposal. All they have to do is rotate to church. Or even to just armory hatch, and they can go in for an easy plant. Because that would have forced the magician into line of sight.
Yeah. Oh, they'd forgotten. So it looks like the sledge is rotating around to main stairs, kitchen, and Psycho is going to be pushing down dirt. So they're really trying to establish a cross angle right now.
Because they have the luxury of time right now. It's just they still have about a minute left, and the magician is getting close to depleting all of his Legion mine utility.
Yeah, and as the round goes on, Legion's one of those operators that does get more powerful. But I don't think they have
Bomb
intel on
located
where
by
he's at.
attackers.
Proximity mines pinging here. One round is effectively a 1v1. Can the magician pull off some magic?
He really has done a lot for his team so far, and if he's able to pull this off, he has. Oh, he had seen him.
This is an interesting duel we're seeing here because you got one person down, one person active. Oh, but then attack wins the round. The magician got really close to clutching that. It would have been a marvelous clutch. He's already done a lot in this game, and it would have been great seeing one more trick of his. But I guess attack had the live intel coming in from that down sledge.
Yeah, and he was able to really communicate to the team where he was pushing forward. But I do have to give a lot of credit to the magician for that hold right there. The attackers seem to have both pushed from the same angle instead of establishing a cross angle, but that really was, that was the magician hiding from a lot of where their utility was at. It's a very, very impressive hold there. And it seems that for 3 rounds so far, it looks
Attackers
like
need to locate and defuse bombs.
looks like Z Panda on the Zofia has really been playing aggressive, and his aggression has been paying off. He's been the opening death 3 times, and either 2 or 3 of those deaths have actually come from the magician having the opening pick.
One respawn contributed to another success.
Yeah. But I do have to give these defenders a lot of credit. They were able to hold. They were able to have that SSG hold. They were able to rotate down and
10
attack
seconds
the
left.
attackers pushing blue. However, the
5 seconds to insertion.
I believe it was the mute from last time wasn't able to get the pick onto the sledge, and that really allowed the attackers to push forward. So we're going now to a CC. We're going to a CC cash hold. The attackers are investing again a lot of utility into holding down that catwalk. We have Chaser Heat again on the catwalk, as do I. Hopefully making some big things work. And it looks like
we have Hyper running with Twitch right now, which is the most pick at the moment, which is also not something you will see on the meta unless the player is pushing for a highly frag-oriented site. This actually would be a good time to, if Hyper does not continue playing the Twitch, to put Zepanda on support, maybe using a Nomad or a Gridlock for some flank control, or maybe a set of smokes coming in from the corner. I guess an extra set of near infinite set of drones would really have helped.
Yeah, and I do want to touch up really quickly right now what's going on with the CCTV wall. This is something that Reaper EN just had one of his videos on. If you're able to use your shotgun and kind of haphazardly hit the wall, it does make it a little bit more difficult for the attackers to actually Maverick trick the wall. Maverick seems to be doing a good job with it, but he has to be careful because as soon as he clears that bottom row on the wall's open, and the attackers are able to get a quick pick off on him. So they are able to get that wall first. Let's see.
That's a big line of sight currently opened up for attack.
Yeah, but the attack really does need to get control of catwalk before they want to try and do a push from CCTV, because we know Chaser on the catwalk as Lomai, he can be really, really deadly. It's an interesting pick, them having the Twitch. Twitch typically isn't played a whole ton because her drones are very easily countered, and her gun isn't as frag heavy as it's been. Hyper having a gunfight right now against the Jaeger Magician. Seems like
here at cost Twitch it is 50% of her health. So she's attempting to push the construction, and Jaeger's fallen back into that.
By all means, Hyper should not have made it out of that alive. Shot had the cross angle on him from Germany right into
A
right
bomb
into
has been located.
construction. Really should have the C4 up and not making much of it. But Cypher with the quick pick on Shot FX.
That's a fair bit of and frags that have been taken out from the equation.
That is one of the C4s
15
from
seconds
below
left.
that is gone.
And Amish, this is just 10 seconds left to the round. So you already have cases putting out his tricks
5
that he
seconds to
put
go.
on the previous round on Catwalk, but already down to 2v1.
He's able to get the triple kill. Is he able to stop the plant? Chaser with the triple kill. Wow.
And he gets it again, and this time he's ending it off in style with his knife, taking the round again for heat, putting team heat on match point. That's round 11.
Team Heat is on match point right now, and I gotta tell you, Chaser did a great job that time as well. The attackers decided not to try and get control of Catwalk in the end there, and he punished them for it. That was an absolutely incredible hold. And I do want to talk about the first initial pick that Cypher had onto Shot FX. That really did open up a lot for the defense, and their hold on the site, even though the attackers had gotten the CCTV wall, the hold from Chaser really did delay them from pushing forward, and it really did delay them from pushing from CC. And the attackers, they came up short. They were trying to do a push from construction, but they weren't able to get the push off. And they only had 30
Attackers
seconds
need
to
to
round left.
locate and defuse
I
bombs.
really do have to give a lot of credit to the defense right now. He seems to be very well coordinated in what they've been doing. Chaser really has come up big for his team, and again, he was the last minute sub and really has made a name for himself.
Chaser and Magician duo that really worked out, and I think now they're going for a swap in the duo where you have okay, Magician's retaining his role of roamer, I assume. Chaser's gone off with Maestro. I'm assuming he's going for either a closer
10 seconds
offside
left
hold
before
or
insertion.
anchoring role. And Cypher's going for more of an
5
offside. I'm
seconds to
assuming.
go.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit about how they're setting up the site, they're going to be
Bomb
investing
located
some
by
utility and
attackers.
holding down the
Attackers'
cache.
objective is to defuse the
Holding
bomb.
down cache
Attackers drop the
CC.
diffuser.
That's
Attackers
a
recover the
very
diffuser.
typical hold for the site. You see that a lot in Pro League. It allows for a more extended hold, so you can collapse on the attack if they try and take control of construction. It looks like they're going to be having Scrapper rotating around in basement, playing a pretty deep roam.
Yes, right.
Yeah. As the Valkyrie, he will have the information in order to come up with any late flanks, and it
bomb has
doesn't
been
look like
located.
they're going to be droning him out.
Attacker's
So if
bomb
he's able to
diffuser
play
has
this
been
position
dropped.
well, he should be able to get a quick peek, especially if they decide to push from cache CC. He could rotate up oil onto Catwalk.
Well, this seems to be similar to what the the Jaeger was attempting in the first
Attackers
defense
recovered
round,
the
where
bomb
they were
diffuser.
holding off oil pit from oil pit solo, and with one guy holding in the catwalk. There was Chaser in the catwalk getting a magnificent ace, while he had one guy supporting him from oil pit. So I guess the Valk is attempting the same thing here. Maverick going for his wall opening. Let's see if he gets it together, and he does.
He is able to get balcony wall. Got to give a lot of credit to Stoneheart. He's able to get those walls and get them very quickly.
Overall, the Maverick plays in this game have been pretty decent. You see, the hatches were open, the walls were also open consistently. Yes, the smokes did contribute to delays in opening the wall, but there were no major mess ups with the Mavericks on both teams. Clearly, the Mavericks on both sides are some skilled and more patient players, you see, rather than those elite
Yeah, and we have Smoke trying to contest the buck from outside right now, pushing from Germany. He's really doing good. Ooh, that's
a clean shot by DZ onto the Zepanda. Opening pick again, but that's a lot of utility loss. You have lost 2 concussions. By the way, in case of viewers don't know, the concussions are basically proximity detonators. So you launch that into a room, you know somebody's in the vicinity. Unlike a typical flashbang, which will detonate regardless of what you do. So that right there, that's a lot of utility lost.
And he had lost his impacts, which can be used to take out the Maestro cams. So really good pick from DZ. Very interesting choice of aggression from Z Panda. We have another pick coming off from Cypher onto the Habana. Chase is
15 seconds
quickly traded off. 5-shot FX.
10 seconds to go.
But that's 8 seconds left in the planet.
That's 8 seconds left. Maverick's got to get the plan off, and that is it. He win our first round in a magnificent play from the Magician and Chase that game. But overall, the team did have a lot of great synergy, and they were playing super well. But that is our first win for Team Heat. They will be moving on to the next round, and we are playing for the first until the quarterfinals. We will be playing a best of one format, or we'll be playing a single elimination format. It would be best of one, and then moving on to the quarterfinals, we'll be moving on to a best of 3. So
One
Team
reassurance
Heat,
for our viewers here, at least we are ensuring there are no draws. So if there are 2 teams, one team's definitely walking out as the winner.
yes. And moving forward, they will be playing the winner of the CS, Team Mawa and Astro game. So currently we'll be taking a short break. We'll be back in half an hour. It'll be myself and Shot. We will be going over our first match on Division B, which will be War Pandas versus Tilt Esports. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back at 10 p.m.
Yeah. Better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, we're toe to toe. We're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off. And we can. Better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off. And we can. And we can. And we can. Yeah.
All aligned. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going wrong like nonsense. Playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn, but how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going around like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi.
I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mothroom. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. You got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding me up. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming round in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. You got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Mm.
They said, don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you never rush. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Going to the place where all this began. Start again. Won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Streamline Minor League Tournament. My name is Pond, and I'll be casting this game with Sot. We'll be moving on and looking at some of our division things. Sot, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yep, so I'm going to be casting alongside Pond today for this Division B match between Tilt Esports and War Pandas. We just saw a very interesting match between Sangfroid Esports and Heat, which I think we're just going to go over in a bit, just while we wait for the match to be set up. So something that's really interesting, I think, Pond, is the way in which the defense kind of worked out for both teams there. So we saw out of all 11 rounds, we saw that Cash and Jim were the only sites in which defense actually won. We saw that Church for both Heat and Sangfroid was never actually won. And on top of that, Heat, when had the chance to go to Church in round 5 of their defense, actually went to go to Jim in order to close out the match.
Yeah, it was a very interesting choice done by the defense. It's very I was very surprised to see. I was expecting that Cash would be the harder one to defend, but the attack really did a good job at really pressuring the defense on the Church Arsenal hold. There was no deep roaming from the attack. We did see an SSG hold once, and it was almost successful, but it really was an interesting thing to see. Definitely very off from what the typical meta is.
Yep, so as we can see on the bracket, Team Heat will be advancing to the next round, and they will be facing the winner of Team Muhaha and Astro.
And so we'll be listing right now our Division B standings. Our first team up is going to be Tilt Esports versus War Pandas, and they will move on to face the winners of Roaring Tiger and Divine Zlim.
I'm really interested to see how this match goes in comparison to the first match. I'm really interested to see, and I'm sure you are too, Pond, to see kind of how this team plays, how these teams play out.
Oh, absolutely. We had a great round the first time. Team Heat looked really strong. They definitely had a lot of cohesion. And that's not to take down SF. SF did put up a really good attack, and a lot of the rounds could have gone 50-50, but Team Heat came out in the end. So I'm really excited to see how this round goes. We'll be moving on soon to our map bans, and our first round was on Clubhouse. I'm really excited to see what maps people take out.
Yeah, I think
today.
We're both hoping for a bit of a coastline match to see a bit more aggression, a bit of a huge frag fest. I think that Clubhouse match was pretty good in where it went. I think something that's interesting to note is how long it took them often to get opening kills and opening picks. We saw from SF's attack that often there was 2 minutes or only 30, like 2 minutes had gone up, or there was about 30 seconds left in the round before an opening pick or the wall or any major utility had been wasted. And I think that's something that's very interesting to look at, especially as this Team Heat, progresses, and how SF will have to adapt for the next season in other matches.
Yeah, there was a lot of stagnation in the attacks. They were able to open up walls and hatches very quickly. And one of the things I really got to credit Team Heat for was they were able to kind of set up their attacks, and they were able to really find and execute with them. They definitely had a set strategy they had coming into it. And as soon as they had all their ducks in an order, even if the defense had already taken out a pick on them, they were able to really chime in on those takes. Very interesting to see.
I think something that we have to point out, I think in my opinion, watching from the outside, I think MVP for me goes to Chaser, who was put in as a sub, and he went absolutely ballistic on the defense, going 8-0 for playing the Wamai on specifically Cash and on the catwalk, getting an ace and a 3K in their fourth round. And I think he did extremely well and should be commended for his efforts on this match.
Yeah, and I really think it should be noted that Chase did come into the game as a substitute. He originally wasn't going to be playing, and they needed a last-minute sub because one of their players, I believe his power had gone out. And he came into the game and absolutely held together their defense on that catwalk. Their Cash CC takes were completely made possible because of it. It really wasted a lot of time for the attackers, and he really did punish the attackers for not clearing it. If I had to give an MVP for attack, it definitely would have been the Magician. He had 4 of the opening picks and really opened up a lot for his teammates.
I agree. I think the Magician had 4. Oh, yeah, he had 4, and 3 of them were on the attack. And I think that that shows just how kind of the Team Heat worked and how they kind of went into the match and how they were thinking about it as well. And the way in which they kind of droned a bit better, in my opinion, compared to SF. Sometimes
really wasted a lot of time for the attackers.
But to be fair, sometimes Psycho from SF did get opening picks when they weren't droning correctly or something went wrong in the communication. Obviously, being casters, we can't tell what happens behind the scenes with the teams. But to me, it felt like they were really using the Magician to the fullest of his potential and his ability, and he kind of just went ham on the attack with 3 opening kills.
Yeah, definitely. He was really playing that entry fragger position very well. And to kind of talk a little bit about the little cheeky 2-piece that Psycho had picked up on Bandit, running the red dot and suppressor. What ended up happening was the Nomad had pushed in and didn't check the corner, and so the Nomad had called out, "Cash is clear." Nomad had run in, and then the sledge had jumped through the window, and he got the quick 2-piece. Quickly traded off then again by Hyper, but it was definitely a very interesting piece. Heat really did play well with the intel they had. They definitely fed into the intel. Their drone work was pretty great, and it really did show on their attacks. They were able to really push forward. They were really able to, especially when attacking Church. They had a set plan in mind. They wanted to get Moto hatch control. They wanted to get main stairs control, and they wanted to get their Zofia, who was Magician, right down blue. And as soon as they got the opening pick on blue, which was typically onto the Jaeger, they immediately took over the round. Having that blue control, not having to worry about any rotates from there, rotates out of Church into blue, really did allow for them to drop into Moto without having to worry about any heads-up gunfights dropping in.
And I think something that is good to note, and kind of something that we can compare this match to the next match, is the way in which both teams kind of utilize their roam. We saw Team Heat using a bit more of a deeper roam in comparison to Sangfroid, with Scrapper running the Valk and going complete downstairs on that gym defense. And we saw that they kind of had a bit more pressure outside of the range of the map in comparison to Sangfroid, who utilized a lot of their defense players very shallowly in like soft roaming or lurking areas.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. So Tilt Esports is looking at the straw poll, is set to sweep this match with a solid 4-0 votes. What are your thoughts on this, Pond?
I mean, I haven't seen Tilt Esports play before. I really have not a whole lot of information coming into the game on either team, starting out as the first round. But it'll be definitely very interesting to see. I'm expecting based on the last match, I'm expecting a very frag heavy meta. I'm expecting a lot of very aggressive plays. I'm expecting a lot of very horizontal holds. There wasn't a lot of vertical play being done between the both teams, and I'm really interested to see, especially if we're having a 4-0 tilt. I'm expecting definitely a very interesting match. It really will depend on which map we'll be going on. We'll be moving on to the map ban phase shortly. Um,
All right, so now we should be moving on to the map ban stage. And so Tilt Esports will be on the blue team, and War Pandas will be on the orange team. We are using the Pro League rule set, so we will have on the board available for both teams: Clubhouse, Coastline, Consulate, Cafe, Oregon, Theme Park, and Villa. Do you have any favorites here, Pon, that you want to see other than Coastline?
Man, I want to see Coastline or Consulate. I personally love playing myself on Coastline. I mean, I rock a Montang on there. I love how frag heavy, how you don't need a hard breacher, and it opens up so much more for the attack to do, and you're able to get some pretty interesting lineups. And if you really do want to go for full tilt, you can really play some pretty cool Ying setups and some quick cheeky plants. How about yourself?
I love a bit of. I'm gonna be honest. I love a bit of Coastline like you. I love just going absolutely ham, dropping down in theater and penthouse, and just absolutely popping off. Personally, also I like Theme Park. I love the kind of throw and hold that you can have on Theme Park, and also attacking it as well, where you can go barrels, and then you can at the same time go maintenance or not barrels, and then push both of them at a time and pincer them in. I really enjoy Theme Park, and I know that's a bit of a unpopular opinion for some, but for me, I just kind of like it, and it's a huge map in which, as a roamer, I love playing it.
Yeah, as an anchor, I tend to disagree with that one. Anytime I have to play defense on Theme Park, it's always just a, well, if my roamers don't do their job, this is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, I think it's a very kind of huge map that you got to cover a lot of ground with and make sure that you cover all your corners. It's a lot of rat corners, as they say, in Theme Park, where you can just hide in break room and no one will ever really drone you out, because I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
And so hopefully we might see a bit of that in this game.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see if we get a cafe pick too. Cafe is one of the bigger maps in the game, and especially with the removal of bank from the map pool. Cafe is one of those maps that you can see a lot of different ways that it's typically played. You could see a lot of different holds. I would personally argue that all of the bomb sites are viable, so you can definitely see teams rotate between all four. It's definitely one of my favorite maps to watch, and it's definitely my favorite map to attack on.
I think with the clubhouse match that we just saw, hopefully we get another map. Obviously, if we go back to clubhouse again, we can just compare the maps and we can see how each team did. We can see how the winner of this match might fare in comparison if they had to go up against Team Heat or Team Sangfroid. I think it's very interesting as well, with the first ban from Tilt Esports being Cafe Dostoevsky and War Pandas banning out Theme Park. So I think Coastline is still a possibility here.
Still a possibility, and I Oregon is our third pick. There's no real surprise there, as Oregon is one of the newer maps into the map pool, and a lot of teams are still trying to figure that map out. Coastline is off the board today. That is, oh man.
So it looks like it will be a mix-up between Clubhouse, Consulate, and Villa, and Tilt Esports will be Villa, and hopefully War Pandas chooses Consulate, and so that means we'll be going back to Clubhouse.
All right, back to Clubhouse again. I guess that's the day we are going to be having. So we're going to be playing our first match against War Pandas and Tilt Esports on Clubhouse. Very, very interesting to see how different Tilt Tilt Esports and War Panda take this in comparison to the last match, which we had against SF and Heat?
I'm interested to see what, if Tilt or War Pandas were watching the stream, what they might have picked up on the previous match and what they might change or adapt to kind of get a bit of an upper edge on the opposing team.
We're currently setting up the lobbies right now. We're getting everything set up, and we will be back with the matches that we'll have today. War Pandas, Tilt Esports on Clubhouse.
Yeah. Better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. Cause together, we're better off, and we can. Better off, better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If I'm knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. Cause together, we're better off, and we can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All aligned. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Though we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi.
So welcome back to the Streamline Minor League. We are currently just facing a few small technical issues with Moss, but we'll be here. Sort and Pond will be here just to keep you company for this time being. So while we're waiting, we know that Tilt Esports and War Pandas will be going to Clubhouse, and this is the second time Clubhouse has been played today. The first time was with Sangfroid and Heat. So Pond, what do you think about the bans coming out from both teams there?
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see what bans will come through. Last time Maverick was played on every single attacking round. He's definitely a very powerful operator on this map. A lot of teams don't sink a ton of utility into keeping like the cache CC wall or the wall outside of gym. And so I'm expecting actually to see a Maverick ban. And last time on defense they had Mira and Echo played, and I don't know if Mira would have made as much of a difference. I don't think Mira is as powerful or as strong on this map. She's pretty strong for some teams hold on to gym and master bedroom, especially peeking out of bathroom. But I'm really interested to see the Capitao ban. I could definitely see that coming again because Capitao is really good with crowd control, really good at especially when trying to get a plant down in Arsenal or trying to stop the bandit from bandit tricking the wall onto CCTV. Definitely interested to see. So Saad, what things do you think we'll see this match? Maybe something we didn't see last time, or there are things you're kind of expecting to see out of the map?
Well, I think that both teams are going to put a bit more emphasis on keeping that wall alive, whether it's the hatches, the reinforced walls alive, whether it's on the hatches inside church and armory, or whether it's on the CCTV wall for cache and CCTV. I think that SF and Heat both kind of just put bandits or just chucked Kaids on it and then let it go. And I think that both teams might be looking to put a bit more pressure on that wall and to kind of stall out time a bit more, because I think, let's say they ban the Maverick and then a Kaid ban comes out, then you can really deny a lot of utility from that wall. And I think that kind of denial of utility really helps in this kind of current meta that we're facing in Rainbow Six Siege, where it's very much kind of dumping utility and then making a hard push in the last 30 seconds. So I think that bans that are most likely going to come out, I think a Thatcher would come out. I think maybe a Mav would come out as well. I think if they go for a really wild card pick, they might do a Hibana ban or maybe even a Monty ban. And I think on defense, especially with kind of how powerful Echo is right now, I think Echo is a pretty solid ban. Maybe the Kaid ban would be the other defense ban. And I kind of agree with you on that Mira pick there. I think Mira is a very interesting operator to kind of ban out on Clubhouse because, yeah, as you said, there's not many places that it could really make a huge difference, especially with the amount of verticality that exists in Clubhouse. Like, for example, cache and CCTV can be accessed from stonks or stocks or supply from the first floor or even from just where the red stairs are. And so I think that Mira might be a comfort pick for Heat. They might just not like playing against it, especially when you get quick peek from behind a Mira with that vector and just getting absolutely shredded to pieces. So maybe that was a comfort pick for them. But I'm very interested to see what the defense bans will be for this match.
Absolutely, and something that was very interesting was that on the last time, neither team really did make an effort to hold the CCTV wall, but they didn't really make an effort to hold the CCTV wall, but they did really make an effort to hold catwalk. I'd be interested to see. I know a lot of people would actually place a shield from right outside the doorway between stock or between cache and CC and actually do an extended hold back there. I'd be interested to see if these teams aren't going to be committing as much to taking control of the wall, if maybe they'll try and make an effort, maybe bring Goyo or try and have another way to hold off a lot of those different pushes.
And I think a great example of how Heat held that kind of cache in the catwalk was Chaser going absolutely ham on that catwalk. It was interesting to see.
Absolutely.
He had the shield actually looking at the CCTV wall so that if it was ever breached, he could still stay on the catwalk. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And by playing Wamai instead of Jaeger, he was able to kind of sit there and kind of drain utility a bit more by putting his Wamais in really unique spots. I might add, putting them on the lights instead of putting them by doorways in very common spots. He put them on the lights so that if when the Hibana or the Buck came in, trying to throw the flashbang all the way up to the roof, it would get caught by the Wamai. I think that was a very interesting strategy played by Heat, and I think it went, judging by the scoreline, it went very well for them, with the Chaser going absolutely ham, 8-0 with the Wamai on that cash catwalk.
Yeah, and it definitely was a really good pick to have Wamai there, because what the teams ended up doing was they had the Jaeger place his utility on that catwalk to protect the Wamai. And as the round had gone on, Wamai had extended his utility out into cash. So he was in a more of a protected area, and because the teams weren't able to get a quick pick off of him, Wamai's one of those operators, like he gets 5 discs throughout the round, or discs, frisbees, whatever you like to call them. And as the round had gone on, he was able to really reinforce that CC wall, because it does take teams about a minute to get that wall open. Really good teams can typically get it down in less than a minute. A very, very typical time is about a minute 10 into the round. And at that point, he's already got a majority of his utility up, and he's one of those operators that does get stronger as time goes on. So I definitely liked the Wamai pick there. The Wamai's shield placed on catwalk, protecting him from when the wall was open. That was definitely a very good play. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these teams do want to take it. And a question I got for you, Saad, is do you think that either of these teams will be trying to do more of a deep roam, especially on basement, and trying to get quick picks, or trying to get picks as a roam and really trying to disrupt the attack?
It will play a bit more of a deep roam. I think what might happen in conjunction with that is that on top of that, they might play a bit more of intel ops and things like that. And I think that like Heat played the Valkyrie quite a bit, and so did Sanctuary, but I think that the utility didn't come out as much, and I feel like there's a lot more opportunities for C4s and wall bangs, like, and verticality in general. And I really hope that both Warpandas and Tilt Esports are able to kind of utilize the map to its full advantage, especially when you have like operators like Buck and Zofia and Sledge, like they were bringing, like Cypher on the Sledge, who was going absolutely crazy, destroying everything, going for an open floor plan on in kitchen and just above the main stairs outside the bar. And I think that that is something that a lot of teams can use to kind of gain a lot more access, especially if you're in a bit of a pinch when you're an attacker, maybe a 4v5 or a 3v5, and you kind of have to open up angles and get picks in order to even out the field a bit more. And so I really hope that they are able to actually kind of utilize the map a bit more, and maybe find some cheeky Val camp spots or some nice Maestro plays, because we did see only a fraction of that from the match.
Yeah, and Maestro is definitely played a lot on. He was definitely played a lot when they were defending Church Basement, and definitely played a lot when they were holding Gym Master Bedroom. And I think that seeing a lot of Maestro play would be kind of interesting. I also would be interesting to see if they have a Maestro ban.
Maestro ban. What do you think that's going to go?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of teams will ban Maestro, and he is a very powerful defender, especially on a lot of those holds. You definitely can see him come out and deny the plants. And even though last time, the Maestro from Heat wasn't able to fully finish off when, I think it was Cypher, the Buck, had planted. He wasn't able to fully finish him off, but having a lot of that plant denial would be very useful. But they also used the Maestro cam. Even though the Maestro died early in the round, he was able to still mark everybody because they had already taken out all of the utility necessary in taking out the cams.
And I think that Auda with the 81 bullets, even if it's got the ACOG removed, is an absolute machine when it comes down to spraying down and just gunning down and absolutely just wrecking people, especially if they play that kind of aggression that we saw coming out from Sangfroid. I think that Maestro is kind of a very interesting pick. And also on top of that, you got your bulletproofs as well, your bulletproof cameras, or your bubbles, as some people like to call them. And that is just more and more kind of utility you have to dump if you're an attacker. Like, you have to waste Zophias on it, or you have to get up close with a Maverick or a Sledge. And I think that, like, yeah, I can see where you're going with that, with the Maestro band there.
Yeah, and Maestro is one of those very interesting operators where you can definitely hold down you can definitely hold down an angle or hold down an area where you'll have multiple attackers pushing, because it's an 81 round mag, and really, if you know they're pushing in, you just pre-fire, because I mean, click your mouse, a machine gun go burr. I mean, it's it's one of those guns that is just an absolute animal on defense. I believe it was TSM Dark Zero last night that on one of the defenses on Oregon, they had held down the bathroom out of small tower, and just and the attackers just kept on funneling in, and all they had, excuse me, all the defender had to do was pre-fire them.
And like you said, you hold down the angle, you hold down the sight, and you're only doing that by holding down mouse one. You're just going absolutely to town with that alder. And even on top of that, Maestro does bring a lot of extra utility with either the Keratos or the Bailiff, and Maestro now also has, I believe, impact nades, and so you can open up a lot more rotates and open up a lot more lines of sight in which you can go absolutely crazy with that outer. And I think that Maestro also 3 armor. He's a bit of a chunky boy, but having said that, it means that when it comes down to the end of the round, he's going to be the type of operator that you want to be able to hold down the fort of your site.
Absolutely, and we did see a retake attempt from a Maestro last time, and I gotta give my heart out to the Maestro. He had done everything right, and I think he thought he had down Sledge. And just a reminder for our viewers out there, we are playing on Pro League settings, so you don't get points to show if you had downed somebody or if you killed somebody. And I think he had thought that he had downed the Sledge, and the Sledge had proned, and that was. And
I'll be honest, I thought that the sledge was down as well. I thought the sledge was down as well because he went prone, and I immediately thought, okay, he must have done it. And I was about to say, oh, he's clutched out the round, and then turns around and just the sledge just peeks him again from under hatch. And I think if that was the play made by the sledge, if that was the 2000 IQ play, I got to give respect to the sledge there. I think that was Cypher on the sledge. If that was the idea, then oh boy, he's really got some big brain plays stored in his head.
Yeah. If that was the play, man, that is a big brain play. I would never have thought about doing that, but then again, I play ranked, so I mean, I got points on. I'm not trying to go all try hard on ranked like Pengu out there.
Yeah. So right now, looks like we are just waiting for the final person to load into the match between Tilt Esports and War Pandas. That will be on Clubhouse, with Tilt Esports starting on the defense, if I'm correct, there, Pond?
Yes, I believe so. Actually, they are blue team. I think they're starting out on attack.
I guess we'll see when the game starts. But
War Pandas are going to be starting out on the attack, and Tilt Esports is starting out on the defense. My bad.
No worries. So, what do you think the scoreline will be? Oh, honestly, let's make a bet right now. What do you think the scoreline is going to be between War Pandas and Tilt Esports? Do you think we're going to have an overtime?
I think an overtime is possible. I mean, I've been keeping up a little bit with the Twitch chat and trying to keep up with what everyone's saying. It looks like War Pandas have quite a bit of support coming in the Twitch chat. But Tilt Esports really did win the community vote. I mean, it was a landslide 4-0 victory. It was 100% right there. So I don't know. I don't know what the scoreline really is going to be. I'm gonna go on a crapshoot and say Tilt Esports are gonna take it 7-5.
Scoreline. Okay. I actually think it will go to overtime this time. We just received confirmation and advice from Tilt Esports that they will be playing with their sub this time. Unfortunately, one of their players has had their game crash multiple times because Siege, as we know, not always the best game in terms of maintenance and server degradation. Right now, we just passed a stream maintenance, so hopefully that issue will be resolved for the next game. So we're just going to be on here for a bit longer. Just going to be talking a bit more about the game itself. In Clubhouse, what's your favorite site to hold? Run me through your game plan of CC hold.
CC Cash, I typically play a dock, and I'll play on rafters. We typically, I mean, at least me and my 5 stack will typically hold
we'll typically hold garage pretty well. I'll get the walls below. We'll typically only play one set of breach denial, and we'll have two deployable shields, one from a smoke, one from either a Wamai, or one typically from a Wamai. We'll typically set up one of the deployable shields outside the cache door, in between cache and CC, and we'll typically allow them to kind of open it up. And as me playing Doc, I'll typically have another shield placed a little bit further down the catwalk in order for me to peek it.
Doc main. That is absolutely sounds filthy when you got that ACOG on the rafters and it's going absolutely to town with that MP5. That's
Absolutely.
I personally am someone who plays a bit more of an intel operator, so I love playing the Valk. And something that I was kind of a bit disappointed to see, honestly, was the lack of C4 and Kobe's coming out, the lack of nade kills and things like that. I think we saw one from a Kaid that ended up winning the round for them. I think that was a SF defense, if I remember correctly, on the third round. The Kaid came in and just chucked the C4 right outside the CCTV to cache door and just destroy that sledge. And hopefully this match we get a bit more of that kind of C4 throws and big brain plays.
Definitely hoping for a little bit more vertical play this time around. That's definitely one of the biggest keys for taking a lot of these sites. And I never saw any grenades from below. Hopefully you get to see some of those. Those are always pretty cheeky. Tilt Esports has their sub in the game, so we're going to be moving on to the pick and ban phase.
Well, I'm excited to see what these bans are going to be. Let's see if our predictions have been on point this time.
Yeah.
So as we load in, we will have blue team Tilt Esports banning first an attack operator, and the Warpandas will be able to do both their attack and defense operator. As we said before, we think that the Maverick had a high kind of impact in the game, but that might also be because of the Thatcher ban that we had, and the first ban will be a Thatcher.
No surprise there, really. Thatcher's a typical default ban for a lot of teams. It's definitely a comfort ban, definitely a lot. He's a really hard guy to counter. And there's the Maverick ban.
Now we see a huge mix-up in the way that the game's going to be played in comparison to the last match, because the last match had a lot of Maverick opening up the wall the entire time, and defense will have the Kaid ban coming out from War Pandas, so no remote bandit tricking this time.
Very interesting, because they banned the Kaid, but Habana's still on the table. And a Mira ban. That's a very interesting ban coming in right there.
Yeah, I think this ban phase is one that probably favors the who do you think it favors? To me, it feels like it favors the defense a bit more than it favors the attack.
Oh, I gotta disagree. I think it's gonna favor. I think it's gonna favor the attack, because now holding Church Arsenal is going to be incredibly tough. I mean, unless they're able to impact trick, but it looks like actually that's what they're most likely going to be doing. They seem to be bringing 3 ops that have the ability to bring impact grenades. Oh, we got a 6-pick onto the Mozzie.
This is a very interesting lineup from the defense with a Vigil and a Legion and a Mozzie, foregoing any kind of standard picks that we see.
This is an SSG hold. This is the Mozzie mute combo on the third floor. Castle to cut off the main entrance. This and Vigil in order to mix up their own.
Interesting to see that War Pandas are going to bring out the Blackbeard and not go for the 6th pick. Maybe they think that's going to be a top floor defense, and they're hoping that the Blackbeard's going to be on the windows, but they're in for a sore sight when the first defense round will be played on Church.
Absolutely. And if we look at the attacker lineup right now, they're bringing Habana, Blackbeard, Bucks, Zofia, and Thermite. They're definitely bringing a lot of vertical play. Habana is going to be crucial in getting those hatches, but based on this hold, you're already going to have a lot of the hatches open. You're going to be having the defense really collapsing from second floor down.
And interesting to note that War Pandas are going to bring 2 hard breaches this time from both Thermite and Hibana, unlike the previous match where we mostly saw Hibana and Maverick being played. Obviously, Maverick being banned, they have decided to go for this Thermite.
Yeah. And definitely a very interesting setup coming through. They should be, if this is an SSG hold, yep, they're going to be getting the west side balcony wall. They're more likely than not going to be getting the hatch in construction, and then they should be getting the CCTV wall.
5 seconds left.
Opening
So
up
right
the
now, I
Modo.
think that this is going to be very interesting in terms of the kind of play style that we're going to see here. We're going to have the Thermite walking over. They're probably going to get open construction. Obviously, they don't have as much kind of wall denial, and most of it from the mid being put for top floor on that SSG hold strat that we've seen before.
Absolutely. And something that's interesting to see is I'm curious if the defenders know the call in order to have the roamers rotate back to site. The call typically is when they open up either the kitchen hatch or they take control of the blue and dirt.
And I think that. Oops, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look like it doesn't look like the attackers are really droning out. They're not even worrying about the roamers.
And the impact will come out. I believe that is from Ignitor the Legion, and that is one set of Hibana charges. One motor hatch has been opened. The vigil is pushing bar right now. It is 1 minute 50 on the clock. A minute has been expended, and there has been no kills on the board.
It looks like Thermite's already in dirt.
The
This
attacker's
might have
bomb
gone
diffuser has
horribly
been
wrong
dropped.
for Tilt Esports, and hopefully they can come around and collapse really hard on the side. Blackbeard will get the first kill onto the Legion, and he will be immediately traded out by the Castle. The Castle having the proximity alarms will be watching blue and
Attackers
seeing the
recover the
Hibana, and hopefully knowing that the Hibana's not there, and Sophia. Sophia will come out for the peak and get absolutely turned on by the Mozzie using J.
She got hit from 3 different angles. There were 2 people holding from blue and 1 person holding from garage. That Sophia wasn't making out of that gunfight alive. It's very interesting to see. The defense really is collapsing on the attack. The attack really didn't drone out the 3rd floor, and they're getting punished for it right now.
Yeah, they seem to have gone for a very horizontal push, and now having pushed down blue, they've kind of realized that there's still a lot of presence. There's nothing left. We have a few shots coming out from Castle onto the motor hatch. I believe that there's 2 there. There's a Buck and the Hibana. He will get the first kill onto the Buck, and there's a triple kill for the Castle on the Hibana and the Buck.
That is diffuser down. It's all on Thermite, and Thermite's holding dirt. He's only got 1 way out. All the attackers have to do is hold a cross angle on it. Don't peek him. Let him come to them. And I mean, if they rotated someone upstairs in order to prevent him from coming back out the hatch, that's I don't want to call anything early because anything can happen. But this round's going to the defenders. They held this beautifully.
And Tilt Esports will take the first round of defense, which is something we actually never saw from the previous match. Church was never actually won by any team, so it's good to see a nice little change up from the teams here.
Nice little godly knife right there. Yeah, absolutely wonderful hold by the defense. They were able to execute that SSG strap perfectly, and the attackers didn't drone out. They didn't drone out the 2nd floor. So the attackers assumed that it was going to be a turtle defense. They assumed that everyone was going to be on site, but they also because they had the call that there was 1 or 2 players playing on site, but they didn't have the confirmation.
And now,
definitely.
Oops, sorry. I was going to say now, Smoke Dev has been promoted from the Castle, having gone into this 4K. He's been promoted from the Castle to the Jaeger now, and now he's going to hopefully pop off on this CCTV defense. Go on.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
Absolutely,
defused
and
by
I
attackers.
hope that the attack can kind of learn from the mistakes they've made that round, kind of drone everything out, and try and gain some map control before trying to collapse in on the attack. Now we're gonna be playing a cash CC defense this time, and it looks like they're going to be going to a very similar hold that we had prior. from the last game with Heat,
Attackers have
where
located
they
a bomb.
would expend a lot of utility into holding down Garage, and it looks like they're going to be using their bandits on
10
Garage.
seconds left
I
before
believe
insertion.
they only have I believe they only have one set of
5
breach
seconds left
denial.
before insertion.
Coming up from the bandit, I mean, yeah, and on top
Attackers
of that,
objective
just
is
something
to
to
use the
note,
bomb.
they've gone without the Zofia, and Shaq this time will be running the Nomad, so hopefully deep roams that we saw from Tilt Esports will be shut down a bit faster this time, or at least will be called out by War Pandas.
Definitely, the Nomad will be able to cut off a lot of the flanks that really did hurt War Pandas in the first round. They still are going to have to drone out though. The Nomad is really good at cutting off those rotates, but the defenders are still really, and I gotta give credit to Tilt Esports. No, it's only one round. They're really good at getting good angles on the attack, and the attack really aren't positioning themselves in ways to go against it. So definitely interesting to see. It looks like Valkyrie's getting a little bit cheeky over there.
Recharge set.
Yeah, I thought
Speaking
I
of-
thought that was the thermite.
So I was going to say, speaking of cheeky angles, the Valve was attempting to go for a run out and to kill anyone opening that west side of the garage door. You see Buck of Lord Karasu right now and opening up, hoping to remove the bandit of Ignitar from his position, and Smoke Dead popping off will get the opening kill onto Charlie.
Wow. Oh, Smoke Dev came up with that kill right there. I think Smoke Dev rotated downstairs, yeah. He's playing a little bit of a snake angle down in blue. That is two really good picks. Or Blackbeard, an interesting pick, but oh,
Down will come out on the Nomad from Thermite. I think the team might have just been running through a bit of stress and a bit of nerves, especially with the Jaeger running around like a madman. Right now we have the Ivana peeking down, and the Aussie the Valk will be able to take him out. Will get refragged by the Thermite.
Position device.
And now we're down to a 3v2 with 50 seconds on the clock. We have a bit of utility, not a lot of HP coming out from the War Panda side. You see Shadow in use his first smoke. A bit, although smokes take 10 seconds, he can space out that time. So we see Smoke Dev pushing down, looking for the Thermite on the
Attacker's
blue,
bomb diffuser has
and the
been
Thermite
dropped.
will lose that gunfight. We have Smoke
A
Dev
bomb
going on
has
a
been
triple
located.
kill, popping off once again, and it's all down to Shaq from War Pandas on the Nomad. That's 25 HP. Ignitar will swing wide, he'll miss the shots on the first time, until these balls will take the second.
interesting decision by the Nomad there. Definitely wasn't set up in a great position right there. Very interesting from the attack. The defense really did a good job at having a deep roam, especially with Smoke Dev. Definitely did a great job at picking apart the attack one at a time. They and I gotta say it, the deep roam really was what had it. And I said this first and I'll say it again. The attack didn't drone them out, and what happens when you don't drone out is you allow for those flanks to come in, and Smoke Dev capitalized off that.
I agree. I think especially a good sign of that, or a sign of the kind of maybe a bit of miscommunication there, was that Nomad being down by the Thermite. Hopefully it's just nerves and they can sort this out as we move on to the gym bedroom defense from Tilt Esports. We have the Thermite being replaced instead of the Hibana, and looks like we have a fairly solid lineup. The Maestro, like you said
Defenders,
before, has
protect
been
your bombs from being
brought out by
defused by
Music J,
attackers.
and Smoke Dev channeling his inner chaser from Team Heat is being put on the line.
A 7-0 stat line. That is really good. And right now, I'm trying to take a look at how the attack might be pushing this. It looks like the defense is going for more of a default setup. Bringing the castle is very interesting, but it looks like they're extending their hold into cash. They will be holding red stairs, and the attack still is bringing the Blackbeard. You don't see a lot of play with Blackbeard in term. Or don't see a lot of tournament play for Blackbeard. Smoke Dev seems to be roaming downstairs. I believe
Attackers are
that's
moving out
stop.
to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for more of a default hold, while also bringing that castle. And the utility from the Zofia can really take care of that. However, they also have two Maestro cams, so it's going to be a decision from the Zofia. Is she going to go for the castles or go for the Maestro cams?
I just wanted to point out that Lord Karasu has been playing the Buck for the past 2 rounds and now swapped into the Fear. And I just wanted to give a kind of bit of props to him for at least attempting to go for that kind of vertical play that we were talking about before the match. Lord Karasu was blocking underneath the main wall of CCTV, trying to get the bandit off the wall so they can get the wall open. Unfortunately, due to a lack of germing, I think, they weren't able to flush out Smoke Dev, and he was able to just kind of go to town. So right now we will see, hopefully the Black team having a bit more of an impact in this game. They will drone out the Smoke Dev inside CCTV, and the construction wall is being opened right now with 1:50 on the clock. We are seeing Team Tilt Esports kind of slow down a tiny bit.
It's just interesting decision to use the Zofia on that hatch right there, especially when two of the players up there did have breaching charges. So that's going to be one. Terminator with the first pick onto Blackbeard. That is Blackbeard's 3rd opening death.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate for Charlie from War Pandas. Maybe he's been having a bit of an off game, we don't know, but yeah, it seems like they've kind of hunkered down a bit more. And Music J with that Maestro will absolutely tear through Shaq. Nomad, now it looks like he'll be refragged by the Capitao and go down to a 3v4. But we must note that War Pandas have lost a lot more HP than Tilt Esports have.
Yeah, and it seems that the Tilt Esports has more of a deep roam. They are down in basement, and it seems like they're rotating back up to site. But right now, the attack's going for phase checks, and we're about to have a gunfight here. Ooh, that's a good pick from the Thermite.
And now his position will be called onto Cash, and Sun Lolly Hater on the Thermite will be stuck in an awkward position where he has to kind of wait for his teammate Lord Karasu on the Sophia to kind of open up a bit more space for the team.
Bomb located by
The
attackers.
Capitao will be
15
joining them
seconds
with a full push of construction. They're going to have a
10
funnel
seconds
through
left.
this door here, and there's not really any coverage. Sneakful comes out and misses. Sophia goes down, and I think the Thermite's down as well. It's all up to the Capitao, and Ignitel will pick up a 2-piece to finish out the round. It's 3-0 for Tilt Esports.
Definitely a very interesting decision right there from the attack. All funneling through the same doorway, especially when the angle is being held by 3 different people. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that round right there?
I think that War Pandas with Charlie on the Blackbeard were looking to hopefully get a few opening picks with that base shield being on the window, and he's being brought out again for this Church and Arsenal defense. And I think they just got a bit unlucky with the opening pick. I think that Tilt Esports, the second they got that first pick, they had Smoke Dev and I believe it was Shadow kind of hold the deep roam to kind of put a bit more pressure. Unfortunately, Smoke Dev losing his first death this time on the Wamai in CCTV to a wonderful shot by Thermite of Sun Lolly Hater. And hopefully they can pull it back for this for this 4th attack round on the first rotation back on Church. And we will see Hibana being taken instead of the Blackbeard from
Protect your
Charlie.
bombs from being defused by attackers.
Definitely good choice to move to the definitely good choice to move to the Habana. Habana will be able to grab some of the hatches as long as they're not impact tricked. And yeah, it looks like they're going for the SSG hold again. I don't know if you saw the little cheeky 6 pick by Smoke Dev. He had originally went for Goyo and then decided to switch it up.
I like the lineup that War Pandas are bringing right now with the Sledge and the Buck to kind of double down on that soft breaching capability. I think also Capitao is a strong pick and a very good pick with those 2 firebolts and 2
5 seconds left before insertion.
smoke grenades, kind of like those things. And we will have
Attackers'
a
objective is to
disconnect.
defuse a
I
bomb.
think we might be able to get a rehost in here in time, but we will look for production for their kind of advice and final call.
Loading mag!
I think they will continue to play the round out, as they have not
I-
grip on this.
I believe they are. I believe they are going to continue to play the round out.
Okay, Tilt Esports must be feeling on top of the world to be able to kind of feel that a 4v5 is still possible. I believe they lost the vigil from
Vigil.
that.
Yeah.
So I think it's not a huge
Attackers
loss
have dropped the bomb
necessarily, but
diffuser.
it's something that they can probably come back on. And I think that
Attackers
Vigil, you
recovered
got
the
the
diffuser.
K1A, solid gun, and you've got 2 impacts and the SMG-12 or the CZ-75, and the mute of Shadow Aim coming out saying, "There's no need for a rehost. We've got this one in the bag."
Very, very interesting choice. I want to see how that plays down because the SSG hold is entirely held hostage because of that vigil. That vigil, you see the white bars on the screen, and it looks like we're about to have a gunfight between Musically and the Sledge and Buck.
Oh, Lord Karasu just missing Smoke Dev's head there from underneath the hatch.
I don't think that he's there.
And Music J will just continue to kind of hold and hope that no one spots him. And they will push down main stairs. There's
Bomb
nothing here. The
located by
C4's come
attacker.
out. They must know now. Ignitor will get the first pick onto Shaq. And we are looking at a 4v4. It's evened up. All the more
He-
will peek.
I don't think he.
And Ignitor will pick
Wow.
up a second kill. And Shadow will swing on in, destroy Lord Karasu. They've got the main wall open. They've got church wall open.
Yeah,
But right now
but
they are pincered. They have 2 down.
they're pincered in Maine.
Yeah, and they've got nowhere to go. Smoke Dev, I believe, will absolutely swing on Sublimator. And Charlie will pick up his second kill of the game with the hit bump.
Good refrag from Charlie, but right now he's pincered in, but the defense doesn't seem to be collapsing in on him. I think they're just, because they have the man advantage, I think they're just going to allow, I think it looks like right now they're just going to allow him to come to them.
Yeah,
So
with
very-
15 seconds left, there's not
15
much that
seconds
Charlie
left.
can do here. Looks like Shadow was making a good call, and it wasn't just a bit of
10
arrogance
seconds
on his
remaining.
part.
Absolutely an awesome job by the defense that round, being a man down. They really did trust their strategy, and even without the vigil, I gotta give it right now to the defense. They've done an awesome job at holding their angles, understanding how the attackers are gonna push, really not getting super aggressive, but getting smart picks. They do seem to be commanding the game, and it's a lot to do with the fact that the attack isn't droning out. They're phase checking and they're getting an occasional pick, but it's not amounting to much.
Now we will see Charlie back on the Blackbeard, and the Jackal will be coming out from Shaq here. Hopefully they keep the pick, and they're probably going to use him to kind of flush out the roamers a bit more.
And the Jackal is a smart pick for flushing out the roamers, especially when the roamers are going for more of a deep roam. But you also need your support player droning you out. You have to get the calls where the defense is at, and so you can bring 2 people along and set them up with cross angles.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bomb.
Right now, I just want to focus quickly back on that round on Ignitor, who absolutely kind of came alive into his own there, picking up a cheeky double kill, the first one being on the Nomad of
located a bomb.
Shaq. I think that kind of helped them boost along and give them a bit of a kind of morale boost, and especially with Music J kind of holding down the fort and bar there with some very unfortunate timing between them and I believe Lord Karasu and Buck. They'll manage to kind of hold up the round a bit more.
Absolutely, and I think that the entire
10
defense.
seconds to go.
I mean, understandably, Smoke Dev has been lighting it up,
5
8-2
seconds
right
left.
now. But I think the whole defense does get credit. They're communicating with each other. You can definitely tell by the way they play. They understand how each one's going to play. They have the calls coming in, and they're rotating when they need to, and not getting aggressive when they don't need to.
I agree. And you know, it may seem like a very top-heavy kind of leaderboard right now for Tilt Esports with Smoke Dev on 8 kills and Eagles on 6, but I think that really does show a testament to kind of the way in which they've been playing as a team, and like you said, how they've been communicating with each other. So right now we will see Charlie back on the Blackbeard, hopefully to use his face shield to his advantage. I think that face shield holds up to 80 damage in it, so he will be able to survive the 3 hits from the people of Tilt Esports. We will see Shaq scanning footprints, and who's he got? He's got the Castle of Exterminator, who's currently reinforcing the wall of Garage. Lucky they just get more bank there.
Interesting choice to reinforce a minute into the round, but
Charlie,
Charlie. Blackbeard seems to be playing off.
he said,
Seems
I don't want to be bottom frag anymore. I'm going to stop bottom. Here we go. Vertical play will be coming out. Ignitor, Lord Cutter very low right now, but Smoke Dev's also very low, I might add. And looks like Ignitor will be going to defend the cash construction wall as soon Locator on Hibana will try to rotate and open up that wall. Lord Karasu's going down, probably to clear out any final members that he might find. And Smoke Dev is holding.
Attackers have located a bomb.
And Charlie will pick up a second kill on that Blackbeard. He said, I don't know. Right? He's got a
absolutely. He's really done a good job playing on the window right there, and I definitely gave him some unneeded flack for bringing the Blackbeard, but he's definitely bringing it alive this round. He's playing it how he should. I think he's playing a little bit too aggressive on the angle, but he's getting the picks. He got their bandit, and he's now enabling his team to open up the wall. I don't know if Thermite's going to be rotating around there to get the wall, or if I don't know if he just got the wall in construction.
So right now, Smoke Dev is still inside Garage. I don't think Lord Karasu's saw him. And Lord Karasu will take out Smoke Dev, and Exterminator will refrag onto the Hibana. Blackbeard, Charlie's got a 3k on the board. He's hip firing into the wall. It's a 3-4 War Pandas. And oh no, Music Jam will swing out on him. And now they've kind of noticed that he's going to be somewhere inside CCTV. They don't know where exactly. Thermite Dog is going to hopefully go for a play. He thinks he fakes it, and War Pandas will pick up the first round.
Beautifully done by the attackers there.
Looks like Shadows
They're going to be
reversed with a high ping. Ooh, that is fairly high with the 110, obviously due to we are on the online servers, and a lot of these teams come from different regions like CEA, Singapore, and places like India and stuff like that. So it's pretty expected that we might have a bit of high ping. We'll see what the admins will say. Looks like. Alright, looks like we'll be going to a technical break. So I guess we can talk about that half, as looks like Tilt Esports will lock in the CCTV if they continue to play this round up. I'm not entirely sure.
No, we are going to be going to a rehost, so we will have a technical break. That round definitely was done a lot better by the attackers. They definitely had a bit more cohesion, but I gotta say, Charlie with the Blackbeard, I know I'd given him flack before. He was really able to bring it back that round, and
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And I'm really excited to see really what the attackers can bring to the table. Really, we're about to go into half, and we're about to switch over. And I know a lot of people say that Clubhouse is a defender-sided map, so I'm interested to see after this round how War Pandas will try and bring it back on defense.
And I think we can go back to the first match between SF and Heat, and we can kind of see a very different game here. A lot more vertical play, a lot more kind of deep roaming, and a lot more holding out the side in comparison to the previous match, which was a lot more kind of head-on fragging power.
Yeah, there definitely does seem to be a little bit of a there definitely does seem to be a much different approach by both the teams. You see a lot more roaming, a lot more of a coordinated defense rather than turtle defense this time around. And you're definitely seeing like the attackers are a lot more. The attackers, I will give it to War Pandas. The attackers seem to have a bit more of, they have plans that they try and execute. The only thing they aren't doing is droning, and I think that they are winning a lot of those heads up gunfights. But they're really putting themselves in that situation, which is very, very different from the last match, where we were seeing especially Heat doing a lot of drone work, a lot of intel work, and really capitalizing off of the intel.
And I think in terms of the kind, like we see Tilt Esports bring a very solid, structured defense to this kind of game, in which they've kind of stuck to very pro league-esque metas such as the SSG holders we were talking about, where you have the Vigil, the Mozzie, and the Immune all holding top floor to kind of prevent and stop people from being able to just hard rush site, because then you can collapse on them, as we saw in the first round. And I think that War Pandas have slowly been adapting to it, and I think that it might turn around when we come to the defense of this match for War Pandas.
Absolutely. I still think that right now, I believe this is the scoreline 4-1 currently.
Is 4-1 with
It
War
is.
Pandas on the 1 and Tilt Esports on 4.
Okay, I think it is absolutely possible for War Pandas to bring it back, especially if they come in strong on defense. With the way that they're playing, they seem to have a lot of I'd say a lot of like gusto. They seem to be taking a lot of the gunfights to Tilt, and if they play a defense that is able to play a little bit around, I don't know how Tilt is going to attack, but I'm assuming Tilt's going to have a full roam clear, drone out playoff intel. If they're able to kind of play off of that and win those heads up gunfights, I think it's absolutely possible for them to bring it back.
And I just wanted to note that in terms of opening kills and opening deaths, we saw Charlie unfortunately being the tail end of 3 rounds in which he was the opening death onto Blackbeard. But I just want to point out, maybe he's listening on the 30-second delay and said, "Not today, boys and girls," and he started to turn up once and for all, and he went absolutely nuts on that 5th round there with the 3K. But also I'd like to just point out Smoke Dev, who picked up 7 kills in the first 2 rounds, which I think is just insane, considering that I believe he was playing on the Castle on the first round, and Castle with his UMP, as people have known, he is not, the UMP is not the best weapon around in town.
The wise words of Canadian, it is the worst gun in the game. Don't know how old Smoke Dev is, but playing the worst gun in the game. And I really got to give it to Smoke Dev. He really is playing. He really has been. Him and Igniter have really been 2 of the solid pieces in their defense. They're really enabling a lot of their other teammates to get picks. But then you also have shadowing that has really been. I think he's been making a lot of the calls. I think he's really been the one that's enabling a lot of the crossfires, and he's really opened it a lot for the defense.
And I think that you can tell that he or she has a huge kind of faith in their team, because on round 4, when Exterminator kind of disconnected, they had the chance to call for the rehost. I believe it's within the first 30 seconds of the round being played, so there was totally an opportunity for the rehost to be called. But Tilt Esports said, no, we got this, and they pulled off a 4v5, and I think that is really kind of showing of their team dynamic and their kind of ability to kind of say, yeah, no, we believe in each other, we know our calls and we know how each other work, and we can win it no matter how far down we are.
Absolutely, I think that was a really important round for Tilt Esports. I think it's funny that some of the biggest clutches with being a man down due to disconnecting have happened at Clubhouse. I don't know if you remember last Pro League season, it was Navi versus G2, and Navi had lost Doki and Saves, which are two of their arguably best players, and they were down 3-5. The rehost was denied, and they on defense came back 3-5 and ended up beating G2 that round.
Yeah, and I think that kind of mentality when you are down, when you're kind of backed up against the wall, can be really powerful in a match, as I know, especially when you're kind of down in a clutch situation and you know your team's behind you, especially in a ranked match, you say, I win these boys and girls, don't you worry. I think that kind of mentality is something that really can actually turn in your favor when you're down a player, especially because, you know, when you're up a player, some teams will say, oh, okay, let's just push, let's play aggressively, let's rush side because they're down a player. I think a good example of a team that doesn't do this is Team Secret, the old Team Secret, which was a UK team, and a lot of their comms, you would say, all right, we're up 3-on-5, you know, it's a 3v5, we have a 2-minute advantage, let's take it slow, let's really kind of push out the round, put the pressure on them, and get them to make mistakes and just capitalize on those mistakes.
Absolutely, and that's the way you got to take it, and that's exactly what Tilt Esports had done. They had a very aggressive hold, I will say, because it was the top floor SSG hold with the castle, and they lost their vigil, which is a key part of the hold, but they allowed the attack to kind of fall into their plan. They didn't try and get overly aggressive, but as soon as they got the opening 2 picks, the round really did turn in their favor, and I really have to give it up to Tilt Esports, because they were really able to bring that back and I think that's going to be a key round, especially moving forward. We currently are having a rehost. We are waiting for one of the Tilt Esports players to come back. We are having a little bit of a ping issue. This tournament is being played out. We have a lot of teams from India and a lot of teams from different Southeast Asian countries. So ping, I know Sot can speak to this, as being from Australia, ping can be a big issue.
Yeah, every time, you know, especially if the servers start kind of going down, it's just incredibly hard. You know, you get 170 ping, something ridiculous like that, and looks like we'll be going back into the match now. It looks like everyone is ready to go. We will be jumping back into Clubhouse, in which it is the last round of defense, I believe, for Tilt Esports, in which the scoreline is 1-4.
Absolutely, we are right about it going to halftime, and coming back into it, I'm really excited to see. We're going to a CCTV cash room defense again.
Yep, it was lost on the last round that they just played, but looks like they'll be going back there again and have seems like they're going to play the same lineup as before, except they're not going to play the castle, I think. Yeah, they're not going to play the castle in favor of the Valkyrie.
Absolutely, it looks like they're going to be playing a little bit more off of the intel. I was a little confused with the CCTV cash room choice, because I was, in my mind, I had thought that Tilt had just won that round. So a little bit of a brain fart on my end, but yeah, it looks like they're going to be trading at the castle for the Valkyrie, which I think personally is a very smart choice. The castle didn't really deny the attackers anything last time, especially because Charlie was fully able to peek in through the cash window and able to get those picks. Definitely interested to see. It looks like they're going for, again, a very similar setup, and if you have an extended hold into garage, you'll have somebody playing in rafters.
10 seconds to go.
I was just going to add on top of that, that I think the castle also doesn't work, because if you look at the lineup that Pandas has brought, their utility, you know, you've got a secondary shotgun from Jackal, you have 2 thermite charges, you have 2 impacts from Sophia, you have, I believe it is 3 breach charges on both Nomad and Blackbeard, so you have a lot of kind of soft destruction there, and I think that it's a smart call to kind of say, alright, this team's probably going to bring a lot more kind of soft breaching power, let's play a bit easy, let's play for the intel here.
Absolutely, and it's definitely very interesting to see that the attack they aren't playing into the utility dump meta. You're only seeing, I believe, one set of you're only seeing a set of smoke grenades, and that's the only set of throwables they have, minus Sophia's throwables, and
Actually, no. They don't have any
looks like
grenades.
they brought out 2 claymores this time, maybe to kind of siphon off Smoke Dev's insane rate he's had in the previous few rounds. I think that's why they.
That's 3 claymores.
Oh, it is 3 claymores. Yeah, not even the recharges coming out from Zofia. Interesting because Jack, I believe, has primarily played with the 2 smoke grenades because it offers him kind of a lot more utility to bring the ball, especially when planting. And especially when you have that Nomad, I feel like claymores aren't really going to be that extra helpful.
Absolutely, and it's honestly kind of interesting to see that they'd bring 3 sets of claymores, especially when making the choice of bringing a Nomad. So I think they very much don't want to get run out on, but definitely an interesting choice, to say the least. I don't think that I'm not quite sure that that you're going to have a bunch of utility use from the. I don't think you're gonna have a lot of utility use. Oh, and she was picked off. I was gonna say you're not gonna have a lot of utility use from the Zofia, especially with all of the Wamais and Jaegers coming out.
So yeah, first C4 kill coming out from Terminator, who unfortunately disconnected in the previous rounds, but he is back with a vengeance, and we've had. And as you can see there, we cut pretty quickly. Then we came outside construction. Shaq will pick up the first kill on the Shadow Iron. Smoke Dev will pick up on the refrag onto Shaq, and now it is at a 4v3 right now, 4 HP. Valkyrie doesn't see what? The refrag will come out from the Jaeger. I don't know what was happening there. You saw Terminator look at him and see that this Nomad was there. Probably because of outlines not being on. He probably didn't understand or didn't know that Swindlely Hater was the Nomad there. It's 10 seconds left, and they're going to have to make a hard push here. Charlie with the black mid peek. He's using J on high. He will miss his shots to keep it. Nomad's going to jump in. Ignorant's going to pick up a kill, and looks like Charlie
It's up on Charlie, and Charlie is down. That was interesting to say the least, because you saw his exterminator. He had flicked onto Nomad's head and just flicked away, and they both just kind of did a little ring around the rosy, like it's almost like that Spider-Man meme where it's Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man like, hey, what's going on right here? That was very, very interesting. Little comedic to say the least, but good round 1 by the defense right there. Definitely a very interesting attack by the offense. Now we're in halftime, so we're switching up. It'll be War Pandas on defense and the Tilt Esports on attack.
Hopefully hopefully War Pandas can kind of bring this match back a bit. They've brought out a bit more of a fragging operator with Shaq on the dock, and Charlie 6 picking from the cap cam to the Jaeger. Looks like that is probably going to be a beneficial choice because the IQ is being brought out by Shadow, who most likely have been
Defenders,
called out
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
to his team.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting choice to bring Doc on a basement arsenal hold. I know there are quite a few long angles they can hold. I'm curious if he's going to try and hold blue, or if he's going to try and go into garage and try and hold raptors. Or, yeah, raptors. Like, very, very interesting choice, but again, it's a very, very frag heavy attack. They're bringing an IQ, a Zoph, they're bringing a thermite. I'm assuming to try and get control of dirt, and they're going to be bringing the Hibana for the hatches.
I think it's also very interesting that War Pandas have decided to bring out the Bandit on the bottom floor defense. Bandit isn't necessarily someone that I would say has a lot of utility. I think the most you can do is Church Wall and maybe Blue Wall. Obviously with Kaid being banned, you can't get the hatches unless you do a very unusual placement of the Bandit on top of the hatch, which I've seen a few times in a few ranked matches, which have absolutely confused and bothered me. It looks like Tilt Esports are going to go for this top-down clear, which will phase out the roamers, and they're going to clear bedroom and gym very quickly.
Yeah, they're definitely going for a lot more methodical of an approach. It seems like they're having 2 people drone out. They have 2 people droning out second floor. They're going to set up flank drones to ensure that the defenders can't collapse in on them from garage.
And and Bandit is a very interesting choice, especially as the Bandit battery is going to be used to deny droning through dirt into Arsenal. I've seen Bandit used a lot, especially when you try and get the wall in church that looks right into the main staircase. That's typically an angle people will hold in order to clear out the person roaming in, or the person holding blue hall. It looks like they've already gotten the kitchen hatch.
And a bit of damage will come out onto Lord Karasu from War Pandas on the Maestro from Ignitor's nade. It looks like it bounced just out of range and will do a lot of damage to the Maestro there. I think the dock is also downstairs here, so they're going for a very kind of turtley hold here. They've got all their people washing their hands, and Shaq is going to absolutely get destroyed by Smoke Dev. He's popping off. He's got the Platinum Charm. He's ready. He's on the Zofia. They put him on the Dragon Upgrader.
Absolutely, and that is a rough gunfight for Doc there. He saw the gun, he saw the man. Looks like they're getting some intel on where the defenders are at. That is the Maestro gone. That is hard. They don't have any other plant denial. As I say that, Thermite comes right in. They have dirt to help hold them off. Plant is 1 second away from going down. Defenders have the intel, but they're not able to capitalize off on it. Smoke Dev is picking up the frag on the Legion. Smoke Dev is currently down, but it is a 4v5 post plant. And oh, he comes back. He is Zofia, so he can pick himself up, and he comes right back from the dead just to live up. And Charlie takes him out. Charlie's on a 4v1. Interesting choice there by the Thermite, but Charlie is quickly traded out by Igniter holding from above. It's a good pre-fire right there.
Something interesting to note is that Echo is not banned in this game, and looks like we'll have Terminator disconnected again, unfortunately. We'll see if Tilt Esports has the kind of bravado to go 4v5 again. But on our analyst desk, we just noted that Echo and Capital, although not being banned, have not been played yet in this matchup, which I think is very interesting, and especially maybe it's the way in which War Pandas and Tilt Esports play. I think for Tilt Esports, they probably feel like they can't run the lineup, but I feel like War Pandas might be able to benefit from having the Echo on board. They will be running the dock again from Shaq, and they will be going up to CCTV this time.
Absolutely, I definitely think that is very interesting, a very interesting point to bring up. I didn't realize, but yeah, Echo has yet to be picked, and it seems like Terminator comes back in time to switch right onto the Buck. I don't know if he intended that to be his pick, but even if so, it is a very, very good pick to have, especially for the attack. But yeah, it's very interesting they aren't bringing in Echo, especially to deny the plants. And on a very similar note, they haven't brought Smoke at all. They seem to not be bringing a whole lot of plant denial. They do have one C4, the C4 the Bandit.
And you do have the munitions as well that can prevent you from planting. If you have the goo mine in your leg, it does actually prevent you from being able to plant.
10 seconds
has
left.
kind of been a bit of a cheese strategy that some teams have employed, especially in some of my platinum rank matches where they've just chucked a few legions on some common hallways and common doors to stop the plant, especially in a few seconds. But look at Smoke Dev absolutely popping off for his team again, 5-1. He has just consistently showed up the 3K on that last round with Zofia. He's feeling good, and he's just going to charge on through this match. Hopefully, War Pandas can put up a bit more of a fight this round.
Absolutely. I believe before our break, I believe Smoke Dev was 8-3, if I remember that correctly.
Sounds about right to me.
He really has been top fragging for his team, and I really give him some props on defense, because he wasn't playing super frag heavy operators. He was getting kills with Jaeger, but he was also getting kills with Castle. Really is playing what his team needs. So currently the attackers are trying to get control of Raptors. They do have the garage door open, and it's very interesting the defenders decided to leave that soft, because that angle right there,
from the south garage door really enables the attack. Ooh, good shot by Dolan right there.
He'll be the opening pick. The sledge, and the sledge, you know that you can commit, and a nice shot coming out from Ignitor. Good sportsmanship from the two teams here. It was a wonderful shot. Just absolute banger of a shot. Dolan won't get to pick up the second goal as Exterminator will destroy Jaeger, and they are pushing onto the walls now.
It looks like the attackers do have control of Catwalk. They are able to open up the CCTV wall, and it looks like they are going to start collapsing on the defense. Smoke Dev with a very good pick onto Charlie. And we are left in a 4v3 on match point for the attackers.
I think it's also interesting to note that both Lord Karasu and Sun Lily Hater of the Bandit and the Wamai are a bit out of sight, and Shaq is really the only one who's staying inside the site. We have the Shadow watching construction. I think he's going to start going for a pick as the main wall is being opened up by Music J. Sun Lily Hater will get a nice little frag onto Shadow, and that is the Hibana now. The Hibana has opened the wall though, so utility spent there. Looks like we have Smoke Dev running around. Shaq has been flashed. He, I think, is on red stairs. Yep, he's on red stairs, and he's just going to hold down the site to give a bit of time for the Wamai and Ben to go back in the site. And their final push is coming out. 25 seconds left on the board. We have all of them kind of getting ready to peek and poke around. The Thermite's coming in for the plant behind them. It seems like there's not a lot of power coming out from the Pandas over here. Music J is going to get the plant down. The dog is slowly creeping his way. He doesn't behind. And this shot from the Thermite looks like Lord Karasu will get the swing on him as well. There's one rafters and there's one outside the breach. This is for the game, and Shaq can pick up a kill. They know the last one is on rafters. No, they don't. And there'll be a triple kill from Exterminator. It's a
Wow.
one.
Exterminator doesn't know what's happening. I don't think he has the call.
And he just get it.
No.
He's got the double kill.
Defenders have
Not
eyes
really
on
have
the
he
diffuser.
should have
Attackers
enough
need
time
to
to get
protect
the
it.
diffuser. It looks like Warpan will be able to hang on to another round.
He didn't have the intel. He was rotating back up. Very, very well done by the defenders. They didn't know the guy was on Raptors, but Bandit did make the smart decision to really rotate around and really get the flank on because they didn't have those drones holding down the flanks. And I gotta say, I gotta give it to Bandit that round. He did get a very important pick onto, I believe it was the Hibana, and really did bring that round back for his team.
And I think unfortunate for Exterminator, but if you look at it honestly, from when the plant was down, it was a bit kind of awkward because Shaq and I believe it was Music J pushed the site at the very end very quickly and kind of lined up for the buck. And we will see a Ying being played this time from Ignitor of Tilt Esports. Hopefully he sticks with his pick as Warpins are looking to go to Jim. And he'll be swapping to the Ayana. Ayana, the first one being played on this map and for the tournament itself. Ayana, I like Ayana, honestly. You can drone, it's like a secondary drone. You got nades, you got the ARX 2000 I think, and I think that's a pretty good gun. It's a bit slow, but you hit your shots.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So let's see what they do with Ignitor on the Ayana here.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they're going to bring her. And I don't know if you noticed this. He baited off the mute. He brought the Ying, and based on the Ying pick, he baited the mute to switch to a smoke because the smoke can deny a Ying push. And now that there's no mute, Yana won't have to worry about that being one of her counters. Definitely a good choice there. Big brain move by the attackers.
And I think the mute is also,
Attackers
they have
locate a bomb and defuse it.
sticking to the bandit on the main wall, which I think is still kind of viable. I think it's still very doable for Warpenders here. Obviously, they're going to be feeling back to the wall. Being on match point on the 62 scoreline, they have a lot of work to get back to a possible overtime situation here. And I'm not sure if we could go back to the view, but I don't think they're putting a huge hold onto CCTV or cache. I'm sure gunfights in gym and bedroom.
Bomb located by
Yeah, it
attackers.
doesn't look like there's a huge roaming presence from the defense right now. I believe they are foregoing that traditional, that more traditional CCTV cache hold, and going for more of a turtle strategy. As I say that, they are going to be getting the balcony wall. I stand corrected. They do have that cache hold from the Jaeger, and they have Shaq holding the holding main stairs. Shaq just got droned out. His location is known.
Flash will come out. It will be one mine, and Shaq will be able to kind of hold on for a bit longer. We have two people inside office, possibly making a push. Another floor by charge will go down. I believe that's by construction. No, it's not. It's the one by bathroom. It looks like they'll be making their final push here. Bandit still kind of away from side, hoping to possibly find some smoke devil can opening pick onto Dolan, and Exterminator will follow it up with another one to Lord Karasu. And the Hibana is taking shots. Shadow Iron will get a third kill onto Charlie, and it is now a 5v2. The plane is going down from UCJ. Shadow Iron will go down to the Bandit, and it'll be a fake. Hopefully, soon Lolly Hater can close it out with Shaq.
Shaq and T-Sun's position are both known. Shaq with a good pick, but immediately traded off by Igniter. It is all on to Shaq right now. As he rotates in the bedroom. He's got the pick on Diana. They know his location, but he sees where they're at. Both of them are playing in gym. He's rotating in.
Compromised.
Good attempt at the retake right there. It was a 1v3 fighting uphill. Great job there, but the attackers, ooh, that's a tough shot. The attackers really did hold together that post plant very well. Good job by Tilt Esports. They really did come together. I was really excited to see what they did bring to the table. Two very good matches today, both done on Clubhouse.
And Smoke Dev going 8-2 even after the rehost. And I think that brings his total score up to 16-5, I believe. So Smoke Dev there taking the fragger roll and going absolutely ballistic with it. I believe that will end today's matches for both Division A and Division B, with Tilt Esports taking the victory 7-2, and I believe we'll be going to the bracket soon to see who they will be facing against.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be with Tilt Esports moving on. It seems that our community vote was right on target. They'll be facing the winner of the Roaring Tiger and Divine Xylem, which it should be a good match. I'm very excited to see what Tilt Esports brought to that. They had definitely great team cohesion. War Pandas gave them everything they got. Missing out on a lot of the intel on attack, but they really did bring some good gunfights, and it definitely wasn't as lopsided as a victory as the scoreline might have pointed it out to be. Tomorrow for Division A, we'll be having a match between QWE and Mischief. Not quite sure on the timing.
Just to go to the stream here, where we're looking at the Division B bracket. As you can see, we have Roaring Tiger and Divine Xylem against the winner of. We will have the winner of Roaring Tiger and Divine Xylem against Tilt Esports. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream today. We had two very good matches. I'm really excited to see how our groups of 32 come out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
Anything you want to note specifically from that game, Pond?
I got to give it out to Tilt. They're looking like a strong team, and I think if they had gone up against Steed, I think Tilt is looking like the strongest team we've seen. We've only seen 4 teams so far, and we've got a long way to go. I again want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to thank Sot, absolutely awesome co-host.
You kept it. So our final game will be, our final game, our next game will be on 10 p.m. GMT plus 8, and we will close out the stream today with just a thank you from everyone from the production side and the caster's desk and analyst desk, and hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day or night wherever they may be.
Yeah. Better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, cause together we're better off, and we can. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If I'm knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, cause together we're better off, and we can. All alive. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going around like nonsense, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the wrong. We know there will come. We're out up till dawn. But how can I hide you without an alibi?
I know I